She's a living legend. She's achieved MMA's Grand Slam of Championships. She's a pound-for-pound great. She's a fan favorite. Cyborg. She is resilient. She's inspired by a challenge. She is eager for redemption. She is ready to defy the odds.
The Peacemaker.
Cyborg was dominant in the first fight with Smith. A rematch can create a rivalry or provide closure. When a championship is the reward, the stakes are at their highest.
Cyborg is a Muay Thai machine.
No matter what the odds makers say.
Cyborg so strong.
No matter how anybody breaks it down.
Boy, is she electrifying or what?
Is electric.
Nobody ever knows.
When legacy and revenge are added to the jackpot, it has the potential for an incendiary encounter.
She's hardcore too, like me, because I think it's going to be a great fight. Fans are going to love to watch. A lot of violence, I believe.
It's Cyborg Smith 2 in the Bellator MMA main event. For the final time before we welcome back our fervent fans, Bellator MMA is in the bubble at the Mohegan Sun Arena in Uncasville, Connecticut for Bellator 259. Tonight, the Fight Sphere plays host to a championship feature attraction. One of the most feared and revered fighters on the planet, Chris Cyborg, takes on the toughest titanium Leslie Smith in a rematch. This time with the Bellator 145-pound championship at stake. Hello there, I'm Mauro Ranallo. This past Monday marked the 16th anniversary of Chris Cyborg's debut as a professional mixed martial artist. And tonight, her illustrious career comes full circle on Showtime. In August 2009, she and Gina Carano made history as the first women to headline a major MMA event. Cyborg stopped Carano with 1 second left in the opening round to secure the Strikeforce Featherweight Championship. In her first title defense, she took on another trailblazer and submission specialist Marluz Kunin, who felt the wrath of the Brazilian juggernaut on 2 different occasions. Up until tonight, Kunin was the only person not afraid to step into a cage with Cyborg for a second time. And it's time to bring in my broadcasting partner, Big John McCarthy. Here we are, John. 16 years in, Cyborg remains one of the most dangerous forces MMA has spawned. And for 5 long years, Leslie Smith has been waiting to try to right what she believes was a wrong the first time they clashed.
Well, for 16 years, Chris Cyborg has been a Category 5 hurricane running through the featherweight division. But obsessed is the word that is right with Leslie Smith, because she is obsessed with this rematch. She believes that she was wronged in the first fight. Yes, she got hurt. It was the first time that I ever saw her as a fighter get hurt by another fighter in the stand-up. But she was responding. She was coming back. She was trying to get to her feet, and the fight was stopped. So I understand why she feels that way. But when you take a look at what she has done to change herself, she has made herself this marauder, this person that comes forward, lands shots, puts relentless pressure on you. But she's fighting a different fighter in Cyborg. Cyborg is a different fighter now, too. Cyborg had a loss and learned from that loss. She learned that I cannot just go and be that same relentless marauder that just goes forward. I need to fight smart. I need to be tactical. I need to be smart. And she has done that in all of her fights since that time. That's why she has 4 straight wins. She has come to Bellator and just annihilated everyone. This is a fight that If you're a fan, you're looking for that firework fight. One fighter that comes forward, another fighter that comes forward, it's gonna be fireworks.
All right, John, I'm not a meteorologist. I do not play one on TV, but my forecast calls for fistic fireworks in the Bellator 259 feature attraction. Let's say hello to Jen Brown at the fight desk.
Well, hello, Mauro. Thank you. Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining me here. We've got, of course, the former two-time lightweight champ, Mr. Josh Thompson, who I used to cover on Showtime when he was fighting for Strikeforce back in those Gina Carano, Chris Cyborg days. That's
yeah,
right.
I made my whole career on this network, and I love being back here, but behind the desk without getting punched in the face.
Well, sure, of course. It's always good not to be punched in the face. But what you are known for is one of the greatest trilogy fights on Strikeforce there with Gilbert Melendez. So tonight's main event, it is a rematch. You know what it's like to face a fighter for a second and third time in your case. What is that like? What's the mindset?
Well, it really depends on who you are. Unfortunately, like for me, it worked out that I won the first fight against Gilbert Melendez, just like Cyborg did. So for her confidence is high. She understands what she needs to do. But with Leslie Smith, she also has already felt the power. She knows what to expect. She's felt the speed and seen the speed. She understands where it's coming. And so with Cyborg, all she's got to do is just make sure she changes it a little bit, stays tight defensively. But then with Leslie Smith, what she's got to do is make sure that she tries to put Cyborg back on her back foot and keep the pressure. Okay, and as they start to continue to fight, you're going to see Leslie Smith start to try to touch her, try to get her in close, get her inside the boxing range, make it more of a grimy, dirty fight. As you can see, and I like what she has the potential of doing, of lighting up the kicks. If she can use those kicks to the head kick, to the leg kicks, along with her boxing and her dirty boxing, she could have a successful night.
Well, getting back to the mindset real quick, you know, Leslie Smith, we heard she feels like that first fight was stopped early. She's coming in, she has revenge. She said she's thought about that fight, the rematch every single day. You know, speak real quick to that mindset of when you feel like something's been taken away from you.
Yeah, you want it. You want to get it back, and she's here. She's finally had that opportunity now to get it back. The issue is, though, is that you're dealing with Cyborg.
Yeah.
So you've got to go out there and show exactly what you've been working on for the last 5 years now, and it's got to be effective, and it's got to be effective right off the bat.
Yeah, well, she did say, you know, Smith said she's learned a lot about herself in that loss, and over the last 5 years, she has made improvements, as you were just saying, Josh, to her fight game, especially in her defense. She's excited to showcase them tonight. Will it be enough, though, to dethrone our champ? Well, that is our main event coming up later tonight. Now, here's a look at the rest of our card coming up tonight. Now, in our co-main event, we've got another rematch where the former bantamweight champ, Darion Caldwell, makes his return to 135 to face the 6th-ranked Leandro Ego. Then we've got the Austin Vanderford Fabian Edwards fight. Now, Josh, I know you're really looking forward to this one, huh?
Yeah, because that has the most title implications. The winner of this has the potential of possibly being put into that next slot right after Gegard and Tokov fight. That excites me the most.
Oh, lots at stake in that one. Another great matchup has two former LFA champs, Jaleel Willis and Maicon Mendoza, looking to stake their claim in the Bellator welterweight division. And, of course, to kick off the night, we've got two women looking to rise up the flyweight ranks. And for more on that, let's head back over to Mauro Ranallo. Mo?
Thank you very much, Jen. We kick off Bellator 259 with a matchup in the women's flyweight division. The number 8 ranked Valerie Loretta welcomes Hannah Guy to Bellator MMA.
And now, we welcome tonight's first fighter, Hannah the Hurricane Guy.
Hannah Guy is not walking through the valley of shadow of death, but here she is walking for the first time down the Bellator MMA ramp. She dropped out of college to pursue mixed martial arts and teaching full-time. She is looking to, well, learn a lot about herself as a professional mixed martial artist here in her Bellator debut, and just the added pressure of kicking off the main card, John.
There is a lot of pressure in being the first fight out here on the main card. And this is a real contrast. You have one fighter that grew up in the martial arts, one that found it later on in life.
And now, her opponent, Master Valerie Loretta.
It is with a heavy heart that the 22-year-old Dynamo Valerie Loretta walks to the Bellator MMA cage tonight, dedicating this fight to her grandfather, who passed away due to COVID complications. She is 3-0 as a pro, and 3-0 in the Bellator MMA cage. She is, well, a master of Taekwondo, but turning into a master of Taekwondo, Mr. McCarthy.
Taekwondo. Well, whatever you want to say, she has a Taekwondo background, but she is not the typical Taekwondo fighter. Look at the aggressiveness, and she's good with her hands. Taekwondo fighters are great with their kicks and their feet. The hands sometimes are falling behind, not with Valerie Loredo. Look at that power. You don't see a lot of the lighter weight women with a lot of power in their hands, and she has that. Her aggressiveness, her power makes her special.
2 of her 3 victories have come due to her striking prowess. And she gets set now for this important battle, already ranked in the top 10 of the 125-pound division at number 8. And John, let's take a look. Give us the 4-1-1 on the numbers for our opener.
You know, real simple. Both of these are young fighters as far as their MMA careers. But look at 22 years of age is telling you how young Valerie Loredo is. 26 is not that much older. They both have big careers ahead of them.
With the official introductions, here is the voice of Bellator MMA, Michael C. Williams.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to Bellator MMA Live on Showtime. From Mohegan Sun Arena, Bellator 259 gets underway now with 3 5-minute rounds in the flyweight division. Introducing the blue corner first at 5'4", weighing in 125.2 pounds. Her professional record: 2 wins, 1 loss. From Columbus, Mississippi, Hannah, the Hurricane Guy. And across the cage, her adversary fights out of the red corner at 5'4", weighing in 125.8 pounds, undefeated as a professional. She comes in with 3 victories, no defeats. She fights out of Miami, Florida, Master Valerie Loredo. And when the bell rings, the referee in charge, Carrie Hatley.
Referee Carrie, gotcha Hatley. Got to make that topical pop culture reference after all to kick off Bellator 259's main card. Valerie Loredo, all about business. All about trying to make it 4-0. And Hannah Guy, well, she is in her first fight as a Bellator MMA fighter. She's in the blue gloves, Loredo in the red gloves. John, we have learned that undefeated Bellator MMA flyweight world champion Juliana Velazquez is set to make her first title defense against the number 4 ranked Denise Kielholtz at Bellator 262 on Friday, July 16, as Guy taking Loredo to the fence.
Yeah, nice job by Loredo to get herself out. She got that arm under, got it outside of that underhook, brought herself back out into the middle of the cage where she wants to be.
Guy running down Loredo using her footwork again. Her mother was awarded a black belt in Taekwondo by her father when Loredo was in her mom's womb. So from the get-go, it's been all about Taekwondo, and it's all about that left hook that drops Hannah Guy, ground and pound by Loredo. And Loredo allowing Guy to get back on her feet momentarily, John.
Very smart of Valerie Loredo. She saw it. She knows exactly what Hannah Guy wants to do, and getting close, getting the clinch. She doesn't want to go to the ground with her. She knows that's where her strength is. I just hurt you. Let me do it again.
Loredo looking to stop Guy for the first time in her career due to strikes, but Guy recovering from that nasty left hook, and then she eats that overhand right, followed by the left.
She ate both of those, and you can tell she is not completely there. She's feeling that she's having the effects of those shots. They're starting to add up. She needs to be very careful, get her defense up. Don't overextend.
Guy looking to change levels, looking for the takedown, well defended by Valerie Loredo, who of course working out of American Top Team and gets some decent wrestling sparring, and she's looking to shore up her striking, and she's putting on a striking display here in the first round.
It can be very frustrating when you have a fighter that moves as much as Valerie moves. So Hannah just needs to settle down. Don't overextend. She's starting to chase, and she's starting to overextend, trying to get at Valerie, and that's what Valerie is counter-striking.
Guy again looks for the takedown, but instead it's Loretta who ends up in top position. But now, Guy looking for the armbar.
Take it. On top of the head with the leg.
She's got the arm in place. She needs to be very careful right now.
Both of Guy's victories have been via submission.
Don't kill yourself for it if it's not there.
Guy turned 26 last month and looking to hand Loretta her first loss as a pro.
Valerie's in a position she has her arm right now, but it's getting cranked. She needs to step over the top.
Take it over the head. Over the head.
Circle left.
Women have crazy flexibility in their joints because I'd have been tapping.
Over the head for the break. Take the arm over the head for the break.
And this duel on the ground.
But the one thing that with the leg scissor that Loretta is using right now, that is keeping Hannah from being able to extend on that. So right now she doesn't really have anything. They're kind of locked in this position.
Stalemate with 90 seconds left in the first, and Guy popping her head out. And Loretta pops her head out and drops a couple of hammer fists before walking away.
Smart to walk away. You just said, okay, I tried to play your game. I don't like it. Let me go back to mine.
We talk about the significance of this fight, not only for her professional career, but personally. And we understand that when Loretta's grandfather was buried, one of her gloves from her last fight was put in the casket with him. So Valerie Loretta very close to her grandfather, and now Hannah Guy very close to Loretta, looking to take her off her feet. Under a minute left in the first.
Let's go, forehead, body lock, let's go, tough.
Hannah Guy being very tenacious, stuck on her like she's Velcro. That's very smart. Use that head position. Do not allow her to gain space.
Get your knee ready.
That's it.
Circle off the fence.
Knees up the middle by Hannah Guy, fighting out of Columbus, Mississippi.
Knee.
Keep hooking, keep punching, get your
Under 30 seconds left here in the opening round, and Guy again with the knee strike as they disengage. Spinning kick by the Taekwondo practitioner Loretta, but well-timed there, John, by Guy, who quickly rushes Loretta to the fence.
Very nice job of Guy to step into that spinning attack that takes away its effectiveness.
But it ends with Guy looking for the arm again, but time has run out in the first round. Good stuff between Hannah Guy and Valerie Loretta.
Watch this shot right here. This is that right hand, left hand. Boom, there's the left hand on the jawline. That's the one that first hit Hannah Guy, kind of hurt her, and then she had a couple more in there where she was able to get a little bit more damage on Hannah. But when it finally went to the ground, you saw Hannah Guy immediately starts to work the attack, goes for the arm bar, gets in a position where she's cranking it. Valerie Loretta tough in her defense, and I'm not going to tap. Steps over, jumps over in this position, comes up, gets a leg scissor on her head to control Hannah Guy's ability to stretch that arm, and then works her way out of the position.
Hustle up for me.
Good work by both fighters in that round.
Yeah, Hannah Guy, a BJJ purple belt, with both of her wins due to submission, with 2 of Loretta's 3 wins via knockout.
Round two, ready?
Best part for Hannah Guy, all that newness of being in this cage is all gone. Now it's all business.
Yep, it's dissipated, and she gets set for round number 2 against Valerie Loretta. Loretta in the red gloves. Guy marching towards Loretta before getting stopped in her tracks with that straight arm. Oh, there's a nice 3-punch combination put together by Loretta. And there, Guy changes levels, but ends up with Loretta in top position, open half guard.
Let's go, do your thing.
Nice reversal by Guy.
Beautiful reversal by Hannah Guy. Use the cage, get some force on that. Valerie is finding out that on the ground she's having problems with Hannah Guy. She has again decided to go down to the ground with her, and now it's starting to work against her.
Guy told us her best strength is grinding out her opponent. Doing that to Valerie Loretta here in round 2. A minute gone in the second. Guy working from the closed half guard of Loretta.
Well, it's closed now, but it was open, and she could pass this at any time. All she needs to do is start driving that leg up, walk that foot up, start getting that knee past that leg, and she can slide it right through and pass. Just like she just did.
Right into full mount goes Hannah Guy. Ground and pound with the right.
Put her back down.
Looking for a triangle.
Mounted. High mount by Guy, and now dropping down. Ooh, elbow strike, another elbow.
She's in S mount right now. That's what her leg is doing underneath that. She's got a lot of control in this position. Very tough position for Loretta. Loretta needs to use that cage to get herself out.
Referee Hadley very close to perhaps stopping this fight, but now from the S mount here, John.
Now it's not an S mount. Now it is a full triangle. She's on top with that triangle position.
And now back.
Valerie Loretta worked her way out of it.
Trying to escape, but Guy tenacious in going for the submission.
Active guard. Let's
Valerie Loretta talked about her wrestling and her ability to be on the ground grappling with anyone. Well, now she's seeing there's levels to this. Hannah Guy has attacked her in multiple ways throughout this contest.
And the confident Guy predicted a first or second round finish via armbar or choke. She's doing well from her back. High guard, now rubber guard employed by Guy.
Well, notice that right arm of Loretta. It's on the ground. That is a horrible position to have your arm. That's when it gets taken in an armbar. So she needs to get her arms either on the bicep, towards the chest, get her hands off the ground.
Valerie Loretta facing sustained adversity for the first time in her young career, and these are the types of questions that need to be answered, Big John McCarthy.
They do, and when you're here, it shows everything about who you are and exactly where your mindset is. Do you quit? And Loretta has shown, I do not quit at all. I am not stopping this. Here goes that armbar attempt again.
Hannah Guy began her pro career with an armbar victory in March of 2019. Now in her fourth fight, first in Bellator, continues now looking for that belly down armbar.
Yeah, I could not tell if her elbow is past that position where it's at. It is. No, she still has the ability to make this work. You see Loretta trying to step over. That elbow is past now. She does not have it at this point.
Loretta doing a great job of defending.
Loretta can push with her foot, but she cannot strike with her foot on the ground.
1 minute to go, Val.
Loretta desperate to extricate herself from Hannah Guy, but Hannah Guy making small incremental shifts, position before submission, and she's looking for another one, John.
Looking for it again. She's trying to stretch it back out.
Hammer fist from Guy, another one. 45 seconds left in the second.
Almost there, no armbar. Circle.
See, right now, that armbar is not in a place where it's going to work. Hannah needs to let go of that because it was past her hips.
And Loretta able to escape, reset, and referee Hadley bringing Guy back up from feet. Spinning back fist by Loretta connects.
Beautiful spinning back fist by Loretta. That landed clean.
Body kick by Loretta, leading with the left kick. Under 15 seconds left. Another spinning back fist by Loretta. But Hannah Guy able to back her up to the fence. Final 10 seconds of what has been an entertaining round here between Hannah Guy and Valerie Loretta. Stop. Easy up.
Sit. Big air. You can't take a sip of water. You can't get taken down this round, okay? You gotta box. You have to punch. Stop the stupid shit with the spinning back fist and box her. Your corner has been telling you to box her. Stop running away. The groundwork is atrocious. Stay off the ground with her. Every opportunity you have to get up, get up. And if you don't punch, you will lose. You have to throw 50 punches this round, yes? 5-0. And it better be smart. You gotta go and do this. There you go. Keep scrambling. Keep walking. Keep walking on the fence.
This is her corner walking her through how to get out of these different submission attempts.
Show the fucking champion. Coming out that way. Pull your right arm in. Pull your right arm in. She's good. She's almost out. Up, up. Watch your neck. Watch your neck. Stand up. Watch your neck. Stand up. Punch. Watch your base. You got to punch now.
Wow, did Valerie Loretta get a severe tongue lashing during the break, John? And judging by your reaction, you agree with everything her corner told her.
I agree with everything her corner told her. She's the one that's putting herself into these positions. When you have a distinct advantage on the feet and she has a distinct advantage on the ground, why are you the one taking it to the ground?
And a guy jumps and looks for that guillotine choke, but Loretta trying to pop her head out.
That's actually, she's got that. We're bringing her legs up. She's able to control it. It does not look like the choke is where it needs to be as far as the neck. So she was able to control the head. Smart move by Loretta to get herself back to her feet.
Guy told us that she thought her advantages over Loretta would be that she's a better wrestler and grappler and believes that she also hits harder. She's definitely proven to be the better wrestler and grappler so far tonight, John.
No doubt about that, but Loretta needs to stop some of the fancy kicks, some of the spinning back fist things, basics, left hand, right hand, combinations, and get yourself now off of this cage and out of a grappling clinch situation.
Something called the jab, maybe?
There you go.
And now Loretta has Guy along the fence. Guy and Loretta just swinging for the fences. There's a right hand that tags Guy by Loretta. And Loretta now pounces on Guy. And again, there's the lack of fight IQ, John.
Exactly. Step back away from her. Make her get up. Make her get up now. Do not engage her on the ground.
And showing some fight IQ there. So the maturation process, we are seeing it in front of our very eyes. And again, at this stage of their respective careers, two tough tests for Hannah Guy and Valerie Loretta. And the tenacious Hannah Guy searching for the limb before Loretta opening up on her again with her strikes.
You see the giant gulp of air by Loretta. She's getting a little bit tired. This is a good thing for her right now because this is a point in the fight where you can grab some air, get your heart rate down a little bit, then go back to getting busy.
Now circle her a little bit. There you go, Bob.
And a Guy back to a vertical position, coming forward, but leaving herself exposed, John. Her chin is up in the air. She marches towards Valerie Loretta and gets tagged with a 1-2.
She's going forward with no thought process at all as far as being defensive. She's just walking through what Valerie is doing right now. But Valerie keeps walking backwards instead of circling out and then using counter strikes.
Past the midpoint of the third and final round, kicking off Bellator 259 with this matchup between two of the up-and-coming flyweights in Bellator MMA. Hannah Guy acquitting herself well in her first Bellator MMA fight with that knee up the middle, while Valerie Loretta, she's got a lot of press. She's done a great job of self-marketing, and there was a great switch knee by Loretta, but Hannah Guy falls into her, John.
Again, using a big technique that takes a lot of energy when that 1-2 is what you're looking for right now.
She always wants to win with flair. She wants to entertain. She's embodied her life as a pure martial artist, but she is in tough tonight against the debuting Hannah Guy.
Hannah Guy has pushed her to the limits right now. Physical exhaustion is a big part of what's slowing Valerie Loretta down.
Hannah Guy made a huge life decision, leaving her college education to focus on MMA, and she is trying to make the most of this huge opportunity against, again, someone who is, well, definitely on the rise and all. And Loretta again looking for that flashy spinning attack, instead ends up on her back.
Exactly it. You take a look at what she did. Hannah Guy ran at her. Just ran at her, and because she walked straight back, she ends up on her back.
Pressure and punch.
Under a minute left here in the final frame. Hannah Guy in top position. Valerie Loretta's undefeated start to her career on the line. Hannah Guy looking to put a victory.
Hannah Guy can pass this guard very easily right now.
And use your upper leg.
And she's inside control, John, with less than 30 seconds left in the fight.
Circle her feet off the wall, put her head in the cage. 20 seconds.
Valerie can walk that. What she cannot do is hold her position with her toes. But she can walk that cage to try to get herself out from underneath Hannah Guy.
Leave no doubt.
Take that arm. Take that arm. Leave no doubt. No, stop challenge. 10 seconds. Come on. Come on. Leave no doubt.
A gritty, hard-fought affair comes to a close with Hannah Guy looking to close in yet again another submission attempt, but they go the 15-minute distance. And Hannah Guy, Valerie Loretta now showcasing the respect that you forge when you go 15 minutes with an opponent. But talk about your takeaways from this tilt.
You know, my takeaways are this. You have one fighter in here who is a lifetime martial artist. You have one who is what we call a basically new, fighter to martial arts, but you can see what training will do. It brings you up to a certain level. And if there's one thing that Hannah Guy wasn't trained in, just had naturally, she's just tough. She was coming forward at a certain point. She was basically saying, I don't care if I get hit, I'm gonna go and get a hold of you so I can win this fight. Take a look at these submission attempts right here that Hannah Guy had. That arm is getting bent and tweaked, but Valerie Loretta, very tough, hangs in there, does not give in, gets to a scissor position and is able to control the head. Then you saw this top-sided triangle. She had this, and Valerie was able to slip herself out. Hannah Guy kept coming forward time after time, forcing her into a clinch. Saw Valerie try to break away, and then here comes Hannah just running across, gets the body lock and the takedown. That might have been what wins her the round and this fight.
Valerie Loretta was looking for the ostentatious, while Hannah Guy, she brought her lunch bucket to her first fight in Bellator MMA and put in the work. So we will await the judges' scores for our first fight here. Bellator MMA on Showtime in the women's flyweight division. Let's go to Michael C. Williams.
Ladies and gentlemen, having gone the distance, we'll go to your three judges at cage side. Your first, Marcel Varela, scores the fight 30-27, while judges Dave Turelli and Jacob Montalvo both see it the same 29-28. All have it for the winner by unanimous decision, Hannah the Hurricane Guy.
Hannah the Hurricane Guy blows into Bellator MMA and knocks off Valerie Loretta from the ranks of the undefeated Hannah Guy, victorious in her Bellator MMA debut, handing Valerie Loretta her first setback in her fourth professional fight. Let's go to Big John McCarthy, standing by with the smiling victor.
Hannah Guy, that's a real big smile you have on your face. Congratulations on a big-time win and just a fantastic back-and-forth battle with Valerie. How did that fight feel to you?
I felt like I had really great cardio, so that's awesome because I was worried about that a little bit. But I don't know. I'm so thankful she took the fight, and I'm thankful that you guys gave me the opportunity. It's been great so far. Y'all have treated me super well, and I love that.
Well, let's talk about a couple things that happened in the fight. You got knocked down in the first round. She had you in a bad position, but you got yourself back, and then you got into a couple of submissions where you had her arm, and then you switched. You even went to an S mount, went to the topside triangle. Did you think you had it with that triangle?
I thought I was going to finish with a triangle, honestly. She just slipped right out of there, so that was awesome of her. Her defense was really good. I was really impressed by that, actually. I didn't know what her ground game was, but it was a lot better than I thought it was going to be, actually. So no offense to her.
Seemed to me in the third round, you were almost running at her to get into that clinch position, to get your hands on her body to take her down. You just threw caution to the wind.
Yeah. Yeah, grappling is like where I want to be. If you've seen any of my fights, that's just where I want to be. My striking has improved a lot, so I was hoping to showcase that. My team has really pushed me this camp, thankfully, but grappling has always been my strong suit. So.
Well, I want to tell you, congratulations on a big-time win. Congratulations on coming to Bellator. Welcome, Hannah Guy, your winner.
She throws caution to the wind because she's nicknamed the Hurricane. Being yourself is so important, so don't let anyone try to make you like them. Individuality is what makes life more fun. Stick to what you value in life and always say yes to adventures. Winning words from the winner in the Bellator 259 opener, Hannah Guy. Let's go back to Jen Brown.
Well, I love that. That's great advice that she gives there. Okay, let's talk about that. That is the way, Josh, you opened the night on Showtime, huh?
That was so impressive. Everything she did, the transitions from the armbar to the triangle, and then even when she had to get back to her feet, the way she was able to close the distance, get inside the kicking range. I got to tip my hat. Honestly, so much pressure. First fight, opening the show on Showtime. She did everything right. Congratulations, Hannah.
We expect big things from both women. They both are super tough. Both of them super tough. All right. Well, Hannah Guy gets that big win there inside the Bellator cage, a win she hopes will get her into the Bellator flyweight rankings. Now, it's a tough mountain to climb to the very top, but our champions, they will tell you that when you get there, the view is pretty incredible.
Very few mixed martial artists will ever fight on the world stage, find success at the highest level, or sit atop the MMA mountain. Bellator is the home to some of the greatest fighters on the planet, but only a select few will earn the right to be called world champion. For some, the honor of being a world champion is still fresh.
And now the new Bellator flyweight world champion,
Juliana Velazquez, the undefeated judoka, holds the flyweight belt. It looks to retain the title for the foreseeable future. Sergio Pettis is Bellator's newest title holder and bantamweight superstar.
Great job by our new champion.
And Vadim Nemkov just might be the best light heavyweight in the sport. Sights are set on the Fedor protege as he welcomes all challengers at 205.
It is all over! Vadim Nemkov!
For the elite, sitting on Champions Row is simply part of the job.
It's the golden rules. Whoever's got the gold rules.
Ryan Bader, the former two-division champion, is without a doubt the most well-rounded big man on the roster. He's the current king of the heavyweight division.
How good is that?
And you won't find a more respected fighter than Douglas Lima. The three-time champion continues to hold down the welterweight division and shows no signs of slowing down. There's champions, and then there's legends. Patricio Pitbull is not only the top dog at featherweight, he also holds the lightweight strap. Proving to be one of the best pound-for-pound champions in the sport today.
Number one the world.
When it comes to middleweights, you won't find a more decorated champion than Gegard Mousasi. The Dutchman is a 6-time title holder and is the gold standard at 185. And you can't talk about legends without mentioning Chris Cyborg. The Brazilian knockout artist has claimed belts in every major promotion, making her one of the greatest female fighters of all time.
Chris Cyborg!
Bellator MMA, where champions rule.
Yes, champions and warriors rule here in Bellator, and tonight we get to see one of the very best. Chris Cyborg will defend her Bellator featherweight world title for the second time in a rematch that has been 5 years in the making. Now, Chris ended the first fight in the first round with a TKO, but she doesn't count Leslie Smith out. She says Smith is hardcore. I'm hardcore too. It is going to be an exciting fight. Well, Leslie Smith said that she's coming in with a whole new mindset for tonight's fight. She said, I'm more mature, I'm more confident, and there is no one more I would like to take the belt from than Chris Cyborg. Well, that's our main event. It's coming up later tonight. Now let's get back to the fight action. Head back down cage side to Mauro Ranallo. Mo?
All right, thank you very much, Jen. Two welterweights looking to crack the top 10. The 2-0 in Bellator MMA, Jaleel Willis taking on the debuting Maicon Mendonça.
Set now to make his way to the cage, Maicon, born again, Mendonça.
30-year-old Mendonça started training martial arts when he was 18. He is a Muay Thai practitioner and has done very well with the science of 8 limbs, the king of all martial arts, as they call Muay Thai, John. But this is MMA, and there was a time not too long ago where he was in the midst of a 3-fight losing streak, but he has put it together, and into his Bellator MMA debut, he brings a 5-fight win streak.
That 5-fight win streak is against good competition. He actually won the LFA welterweight title in his last fight. This is a guy who, with his stand-up, with his Muay Thai, if he can keep the fight at range, he is deadly because he is good with his kicks, good with his hands.
And now, his opponent, Jaleel, the realist, Willis.
Well, Jaleel Willis does indeed know what he's talking about when it comes to his career aspirations. He wants to be a champion in Bellator MMA, and he has a wrestling background, but he is a guy who has fallen in love with his boxing, 2 major ingredients of the mixed martial arts, John.
Well, I'll tell you what, this guy is athletic, he's fast, and his boxing now is outstanding. He takes beautiful angles, and he creates situations where he can land strikes, and he cannot get hit. He is the real deal.
All right, let's take a look at the real tail of the tape.
Oh, I like that. Real tail of the tape. When we're talking about these two guys, 14-2 and 11-4, outstanding 74.5-inch reach with both guys, but one goes with both kicks and hands, while Jaleel Willis is more boxing-centric. We'll see which one is the better style.
Here's Michael C. Williams.
Live on Showtime, Bellator MMA moves now to the welterweight division, set for 3 5-minute rounds. Introducing first the blue corner. At 6'2", weighing in 170.9 pounds, making his Bellator debut, he brings 11 professional victories, 4 losses from Rio das Ostras, Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, presenting Michael Boniquet Mendoza. And across the cage, his adversary out of the red corner at 5'11", weighing in 170.3 pounds. As a professional, 14 wins, only 2 defeats. From North Memphis, Tennessee, introducing Jaleel, the realist, Willis. In charge, your referee, Kevin McDonald.
Outside the line, please, between the blues.
Set for action in the Bellator MMA welterweight division. Jaleel Willis 2-0 in Bellator. Michael Mendoza looking to make it 6 straight in his Bellator MMA debut. The bell, round 1. Willis in the red gloves. Mendoza in the blue gloves. Immediately, Mendoza lands a calf kick.
That's what you're going to see out of Michael a lot, is he loves that low leg kick. He goes to the calf a lot. He needs to land those on Jaleel Willis to have a good fight tonight.
Willis fighting out of North Memphis, Tennessee. Of course, Memphis' favorite MMA son, none other than the legendary Quinton Rampage Jackson. Meanwhile, Mendoza working out of King's MMA under Rafael Cordero. One of Cordero's prize pupils, Vanderlei Silva and Quinton Rampage Jackson, had their battles back in the day, and already a battle underway here in round 1, John.
Mendoza really using the kicks well. This is what I was talking about, that length that he has and the fact that he likes to utilize both his kicks and hands, while Jaleel Willis is, again, more boxing-centered. He likes just using his hands, very light with the kicks. Every now and then he'll bring one.
Yeah, Mendoza loves to throw from the outside with those long limbs, using them to his advantage as much as he can. A minute is gone here in the first frame. The southpaw Mendoza, the level change by Willis, and Willis looking for the takedown.
Willis into that takedown. He's got his hands locked around the body, but he needs to take away that right posting arm right there. That's what's going to help Macon get back to his feet. And there's where he's at. Nice job of Jaleel Willis, bring right back down.
Willis slamming Mendoza to the canvas. Willis began wrestling in 7th grade, wrestled through high school. Knee guard being employed by Mendoza, wanting to make sure that Willis doesn't try to pass the mount. Active from the bottom is Mendoza. We talk about his Muay Thai skills. Johnny's a BJJ purple belt. One of his 11 wins has come via submission, and that was against Cassius Kane in July of last year via triangle choke.
Jalil needs to take away that post again. You saw that right arm go to the ground. When you see that hand on the ground, that's a good post for Macon to get himself back to his feet.
Coming up on the midway point of the opening round, Mendoza back on his feet, but the body lock still being employed by Jalil Willis. Willis, always a hard worker, always been a grinder, and he's always been a leader by nature and wants to be the leader in the Bellator welterweight division, currently ruled by Douglas Lima, who will defend the title against the undefeated Yaroslav Amosov at Bellator 260 Friday, June 11th.
Nice job. You saw Willis looking towards that high crotch. He's got the leg up right now, sweeps the other leg away. Still working. Beautiful defense by Mendoza. Keeps working hard, but this is a lot of energy going out to get himself back to his feet.
Dogged determination by Jalil Willis as well in trying to maintain control of Mendoza's body. Mendoza trying somehow to find a way to break the grip, circle away from the cage, but the strength of Willis on display.
Absolutely, a little bit stronger in the upper body, you see, but you saw Mendoza get that underhook now. At least he's back to a 50-50 position now. Able to turn Willis's back towards the cage. Willis takes him down. Willis needs to maintain heavy pressure. If he keeps his head to the high side, that's going to make it very difficult for Mendoza to get his arm back to the ground and get his back up onto the cage so he can get back to his feet.
A minute left here in the opening round of this welterweight matchup as Mendoza, while eating strikes from Willis, gets back to his feet. Willis lacing the right leg. Now Mendoza trying to turn into Willis, and they continue to dance along the fence, John.
The real difference here right now is Macon is having a real tough time in stopping Willis with the takedowns. He's doing a good job of slowing it down, but he can't keep it from happening, so he needs to disengage if he can, get away from Willis and get back to what he was doing earlier with that length.
Less than a half a minute remaining in the opening round. Willis continuing to put pressure on Mendoza along the fence. Mendoza wearing Willis' weight. 15 seconds now remaining in the frame.
Willis looking for an inside leg trip. That didn't work for him.
Sit down if you want to. Hey, good job with the pressure. On the feet, remember, let's just fire back those leg kicks. He's going to go right back to that when they start. Watch that hard leg kick right off the bat, all right? You're doing good sliding back. You're doing good reading them. Let's just get a straight right. Make him pay for him. Make him pay for him. Don't let him get comfortable throwing them, all right? Just keep watching his post. When he's trying to post to get up, just take away his post. Every time that wrist is out there, suck that wrist in. Doing a good job with the hips. Just remember, when you're on the inside, up against the cage like that, your hips have to be in. That's the only way he can throw the knee is if your hips are back. So just keep those hips in away from the knees, all right? It's small, it's a scratch. How you feeling out there? You feel good? Hey, I am, baby, I am.
We are set for round number 2 in this welterweight matchup between Jalil Willis in the red gloves, Mike Cone Mendoza in his Bellator MMA debut in the blue gloves. Willis fighting out of Memphis Judo and Jiu-Jitsu under Andy Urick and Zach Underwood, while Mendoza, we mentioned, training out of King's MMA under one of the greatest coaches in MMA history, Rafael Cordero.
Same thing's coming back.
30 seconds gone here in the second as they exchange kicks as Corey Overtime Anderson looking forward to the rematch in the main event for the Bellator featherweight title. We're looking forward to Corey Anderson against Ryan Bader in one of the semifinals of the light heavyweight World Grand Prix. So Corey Anderson going to make a great analyst, by the way, when all is said and done in his fighting career, watching at home as he prepares for the biggest fight of his career. Right now we're watching the biggest fight in the respective careers of Jaleel Willis and Mycone Mendonça.
Mycone is doing a very nice job of keeping that length right now. He's keeping the distance. He's the one controlling. Jaleel's having a little bit of trouble coming into him. He landed a couple of good kicks at the beginning. Now Mycone is doing a good job of keeping him guessing.
Oh, nice overhand right by Mendonça.
Exactly.
And a kick, the counter right by Willis. Well, Mendonça unloading the right hand. Willis, of course, at 14-2, has 5 knockout victories, has been stopped, has been knocked out in his career.
Well, when it comes to 4-ounce gloves, it's pretty simple. You get hit in the right spot, doesn't matter who you are, you can be going down.
Yeah, Willis stopped by Harvey Park in January of 2019, but again, has whipped off 5 victories since.
Let's talk about that. He did not lose that fight legally. He got hit with a knee to the head on the ground that they didn't call, and so that's what knocked him out.
Exactly. But guess what? It goes into the record books.
Yes, it did.
And Jaleel Willis now trying to put together his striking combinations. 1-2 that misses.
When Jaleel throws that 1-2 like that, he gets Mendonça going back. He needs to actually come forward and recapture that ground. Don't let Mendonça use that space to get himself out of trouble.
We've reached the halfway point of the round and this 170-pound battle. Spinning back kick by Mendonça that just grazed the midsection of Willis, but that calf kick landed.
That calf kick did land, and Jaleel was reaching for it, which if you're Mendonça, you're looking at that saying, oh, okay.
Nice counter upstairs.
Next one might come upstairs.
2 minutes remaining in the second.
Coming right back. Loading, back heels off the ground, loading. Nice. Mantém ele. Feint. Você é o caçador agora.
Takedown by Willis.
Well timed.
Head on top.
And that's 2 times with 2 takedowns. He's ended up inside control. Tends to let his leg get free. He gets put back in that half guard. Now he's actually in full guard.
Hammer fist from Willis. 1:15 left in the round. Talk about Mendonça and his striking skills. We mentioned he is a BJJ purple belt, started MMA training in 2012, growing up in a small town in Rio de Janeiro, and from the bottom delivers an elbow to Willis.
He is delivering an elbow, but it's the shots from Willis that are going to get the judge's attention. Those are the ones. Those are going to be the harder ones. Gravity's on his side. I like the fact that Mendonça's trying to get himself back, got that butterfly hook, getting himself back to his feet. But look at those locked hands. Jaleel Willis kind of doing an a la Khabib Nurmagomedov. Once those hands get locked, they don't come apart.
30 seconds left in the middle frame. Willis desperately wants the takedown. It's being well defended by Mendonça using his hips. 20 seconds left in the round.
Willis needs to bounce him off the fence, drive him into the fence, use the cage to bounce.
Just like that.
Just like that.
Speaking of Khabib Nurmagomedov, the control of the legs as well as we go to round 3. Well, during the month of May, Showtime Sports has been supporting Mental Health Awareness Month, providing free access to groundbreaking documentaries, including Quiet Storm and My Story.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Mauro Ranallo.
When it came to a microphone,
he was just a natural.
Mamma mia, what a fight!
He'd have these breakdowns.
We call it bipolar disorder.
I'm a fucking prisoner of my own fucking mind.
Seeing someone with a mental disorder like that just go, wow.
A huge thank you to Showtime Sports for shining a light on mental health and providing hopes for those who are battling. Yesterday was Mental Health Action Day. Every day should be Mental Health Action Day. You can be a part of the conversation at hashtag Mental Health Action. Go to mentalhealthaction.org for more information. We are in this thing called life together. Let's look out for each other and smash the stigma once and for all.
Can I give a hoorah?
Thank you, brother. Third and final round, and now it's time for Willis and Mendoza. Well, they are going to smash something else, trying to smash each other here, looking for the big win. That's not where they want to be smashed.
Walk over here. Hey, not in your corner, Mike. Over here. Start 5 for me. Stay right there for me, all right? Don't go to your corner. Just stay over here. All right?
You see the kick come up. Landed more on the leg. It came up into the cup, which can move the cup.
Groin shot, giving him some time.
There was nothing on Mendoza that he did wrong. It's just movement of bodies.
Sure. Okay, hold on 1 second. You ready? Time. Stay back for me. All right, guys, let's keep it clean. Come on.
Fight resumes. Body kick by Willis. And Mendoza missing with that high roundhouse.
Well, Mendoza's going to come out this round. He's going to come out strong, man. He knows, I think I might be behind in this fight. I need to do something. I need to have a big round. I need to get rid of Juliana Willis if I can.
Nice right hand by Willis.
He's going to throw caution to the wind.
Willis leading with the left. An unorthodox attack.
Yes.
Calf kick lands again for Mendoza. He's found a home when he throws it. Oh, jumping knee by Mendoza.
He almost had a Fedor versus Arlovsky moment there.
When poor Arlovsky seemed like he was like a fish swimming upstream, remember that? So many memorable moments in MMA history, and Jaleel Willis and Maicon Mendoza want to add to their own personal history here under the bright lights. Bellator MMA on Showtime. Calf kick, beautiful counter left by Willis upstairs.
That leg kick, that landed, it was strong. Willis felt it, you could see it.
Heavy low kick.
90 seconds have elapsed here in the final round. Who wants it more? Who wants to be knocking on the door of the top 10 in the Bellator MMA welterweight division? Inside low kick lands for Mendoza, but maybe too low once again.
Stay right there.
Again, that's bodies in motion.
Okay.
Mendoza did not mean to do anything in that. He's throwing an inside leg kick. Look at how Jaleel just kind of squats down a little bit, and that's what ends up making it a little bit off target. See how his body's coming down?
Meanwhile, Willis is thinking, what you talking about, McCarthy? Wow, he'll have up to 5 minutes to recover. And
we'll give him 5 and a warning. Okay.
Anything that can be done, Jordan? I know it comes up every time.
No, not in that situation.
It's just the design of the human anatomy, the male anatomy.
That's it, and Jaleel Willis is the unfortunate recipient. It's just part of the fight.
He was almost the unfortunate recipient of that spinning back fist, but well timed by Willis back into the body lock, hunting for the takedown along the fence.
Well, he's got those arms around the body in a body lock. You see Mendoza trying to get that arm in, pummel in to get that underhook back. And now he's not able to do it.
And Mendoza trying to disengage, does so. With 2:45 left in the fight, it's Willis though with the jab. The Willis corner saying, don't spin. Calf kick by Willis lands. Would you like to see a few more of those calf kicks from Willis, John?
Yeah, what I'd really like to see.
Takedown.
Well, nice job with the takedown. We'll see if Mendoza can get himself back to his feet. But if you're Willis, you know that Mendoza is coming after you. So wait a little bit on those attacks and set up your counters. You know he's coming at you. Protect that low against that low calf kick. And when he comes at you, he keeps on coming at you with the same hand every time. So think about that counter strike.
You were the referee when Willis made his Bellator MMA debut way back at Bellator 162 in October of 2016 when he defeated Omar Johnson. He's coming off a victory to Mark Lemminger in his return to Bellator last November in a fight that went the 3-round distance.
Yeah, he had an outstanding performance against Mark Lemminger. And the real thing is, this is where, with Jaleel Willis, against a striker, he tends to slow his strikes down. Against a wrestler, he opens up more because he's confident in his wrestling.
And there, Willis looking for the counterattack on Mendoza. Minute and a half left in the fight. Jab from Mendoza. There's a counter right by Willis.
Talking about. That's exactly what I was saying. You see what he keeps coming at you with, so set up your counter strike.
Body kick by Willis, and yeah, Mendoza has to tighten the lane of his striking attack. Spinning back kick by Mendoza.
That was right on target. Jaleel was lucky to get those hands up.
Another calf kick lands for Mendoza. Lead right followed by the left. That scores for Willis. Under a minute now left in this welterweight fight. Sharp jab splits the guard for Willis.
There, good. Again, counter. Every time he brings something, I want you to counter with something that make him pay for coming forward on you.
And there, Jake drops levels, looking for the single. Elbow strikes from the top by Mendoza, but it's Willis who wants to punctuate his performance with a takedown in the final seconds of the fight, John.
He would like to get this takedown right now, but slipperiness, all that sweat, it's not going to be an easy thing for him.
Well, it's been a hard-fought 15-minute battle between the Bellator MMA newcomer, Michael Mendoza, and Jaleel Willis, who hopes to go to 3-0 in Bellator's MMA cage. How do you have it on your unofficial scorecard, John? Competitive clash.
Unofficially, I have it 29-28. Jaleel Willis winning the fight.
And because of the...
Based upon when you look at the takedowns that he had a a lot of ground control. He landed some good strikes down there. Mendoza had his moments, especially with those calf kicks, those low leg kicks that he had. He had his moments, but he wasn't able to keep those moments moving on in the fight.
An analyst and a teacher. Thank you, Big John McCarthy. All right, Bellator MMA, proud to share the screen with the critically acclaimed premium entertainment on Showtime. Hey, let's see what's coming up.
Look at us, the Three Musketeers, back together again.
This will probably be the hardest decision you'll ever make.
You ain't gotta be strong all the time, bro.
Yeah, we do.
There's a war going on outside. The police department is on one side and the black community is on the other. It is time to do something differently.
Quitting Wall Street was like a blessing.
Technically, you were kicked off forever.
1, 2, 3.
We don't have to shift to get a hot pastrami on Ryan from Carnegie's up in here, okay?
Is this your office, Blair? This is just temporary. Oh my God, this is the office that people come to for.
That's insane. It must be deep if they're not afraid to punch a politician. I was gonna say a white boy.
It might be a pattern from when I was younger.
Hey, last thing I want to do is hear you and your process.
I'm gonna have to report this.
Dev is not a threat. He's just an honest, struggling artist.
Just say struggling, just say artist.
It just meant like we're all struggling.
Just call the cops.
Nah, cops probably come kill everybody. I'm not.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at some highlights from that action-packed fight. Jaleel Willis with his wrestling had some huge takedowns, great body position, landed big strikes when he was on the ground. But you saw Macon Mendoza continually getting back to his feet, working hard, trying to land the big shot against Willis, but he ended up usually eating him as he overextended a little bit. The low leg kicks were working for him, went for the jump knees several times in the fight, but again, Jalil Willis taking the fight to the ground. Beautiful performance by both men.
Let's go to Michael C. Williams to announce the victor.
Ladies and gentlemen, at cage side, judges Marcel Varela and Jacob Montalvo both see the fight the same, 29-28, while your third judge, Dave Torelli, scores the fight 30-27. All have it for the winner by unanimous decision, Jalil, the realist Willis.
Well, the realist was in a real tough test with the debuting Macon Mendoza, but Jalil Willis remains unbeaten in the Bellator MMA cage at 3-0, improving to 15-2 as a professional mixed martial artist. Let's go to Jen Brown.
Well, Sunday, June 6th, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific, live on Showtime pay-per-view. The champ, Floyd Money Mayweather, meets social media don, the Maverick, Logan Paul. Now, the latest in the pre-fight trash talking. Well, Logan calls Mayweather granddad. Well, Logan Paul has a huge mouth and a huge following, but can he follow that up with his fists? Our own Mauro Ranallo will talk to Logan Paul later tonight, so stay tuned for that. Well, Bellator's deep middleweight division features some dangerous talent. You got Ed Ruth there at number 9. 6 of his 8 wins are knockouts. Charlie Ward, 6 of his 9 wins are knockouts. The number 2, Anatoly Tokov, has 23 finishes. Well, and all of these men are gunning for the champion, Gegard, the Dreamcatcher Mousasi. Now tonight, the number 3 ranked Austin Vanderford takes on the number 4 ranked Fabian Edwards. Now there is lots on the line for both of these men. And Josh, they must be feeling it a little because, well, they've been going at it all week.
Yeah, you can see from this picture here, like they're jawing. Even you can tell from their masks being on, you can still see them jawing. Face the cameras, boys. They actually, when they turned away, they were still going. Even when they're facing the cameras, listening.
Face the cameras, boys. Come on now. Come on. Keep it clean. Keep it clean.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if those emotions will spill over into the fight. Now, on paper, this fight is kind of that throwback style versus style, wrestling versus striker. So break down Austin Vanderford for us tonight.
Well, Austin Vanderford's got extreme power, okay? He's super explosive. He's so dynamic. His power on top also is super heavy. When he gets on top of you and he controls that position, he laces down some of the most vicious ground and pound I've ever seen. And you can see that from some of his past fights. And I'm telling you right now, he's so explosive in terms of his transitions from the stand-up to the wrestling. When he gets to the top position, his strength for side chokes, rear nakeds, guillotines, all of those there are vicious, as well as his stand-up. His big overhand right drops, closes in on the distance, sticking him with the jabs, makes a clean transition on the takedown of the double leg, and he gets on top and he just lays down some nasty ground and pound.
Well, you know, he moved up to middleweight here in Bellator. It seems like he's really settled into that weight class, especially. He doesn't have that prototypical 185er frame.
No, he's not a very big 185-pounder, but what he does, what he lacks in height, he makes up in power and explosiveness as well as wrestling. Okay, he trains with some of the best guys. Dalton Rasa, undefeated. Johnny Eblin, undefeated, who is also in our rankings in the middleweight. And then also Yaroslav Amosov, who is fighting Douglas Lima. He has the best record in all of MMA, 25-0. That's coming up. I mean, he trains with Stone Cold Killers. They're all undefeated, and you know there's a bet between all of them. Yeah. Whose O is going to go first?
Well, iron sharpens iron, they say, and that's certainly true with those 4, excuse me. Fabian Edwards, he is so good on his feet. He is athletic. How does he keep this fight standing, Josh?
Well, the way I would say he keeps it standing is by circling and staying on the outside and waiting for Austin Vanderford to overcommit. But I like his game plan as well. He's going to be cautiously optimistic in terms of closing the distance and making him, pressuring him to make him shoot bad shots. See if he can get him to tire. Austin Vanderford has not tired, though, in any of his fights. So I don't know if this is a great game plan, but one thing that Fabian Edwards does very well is he mixes up his combinations from the feet to the hands, and he uses lateral movement better than almost anyone. He's extremely athletic, and he is no slouch on the ground either. Even though people want to say he's an all-stand-up guy, he is no slouch on the ground.
Well, I was going to ask you that, is how important is it for him to keep this fight standing?
It's not extremely important, but it is definitely beneficial for him to try to keep it on the feet. He is good on the ground. He's crafty on the ground, but he'd be better off, he'd be better served trying to keep it on the feet, even if he does get taken down, not to be comfortable there. Don't feel like it's okay to be here and start losing minutes as the fight goes on.
All right, well, this will be Fabian Edwards' first fight in the U.S. Now, he told us that he's always wanted to fight a U.S. wrestler. Can he handle that, though, for 3 rounds? Well, we're going to find out right now. Moro, back down to you.
All right, thank you very much. Jen, number 3, undefeated Austin Vanderford. Number 4, Fabian Edwards. One of the most anticipated fights of the night is on deck in the welterweight division. Make that middleweight.
Here we go. Austin Vanderford. He's the one in control of the pace. He's the one in control of the position with a ground and pound style that is just relentless. Big takedown for Vanderford. Nice takedown. Trying to lock it in. He's got a lot of pressure, and he is a strong kid. And then it's all over.
Still undefeated, the gentleman, Austin Vanderford. Fabian Edwards.
Oh, no muscles up kicks. Oh, that is sensational. He is the man who always finds a way. And Fabian Edwards moves up in the world.
This is tough. Good night. That was spectacular. Ready now to make his way to the cage, Fabian, the Assassin Edwards.
The super confident, charismatic, flashy Fabian Edwards. 28 years of age, coming off the first loss of his career via split decision to Costello Van Esteenis. Overall 5-1 in the Bellator MMA cage with 2 knockouts. His older brother Leon Edwards, a UFC contender, so it is a family affair, this fight game.
And now, making his way, the gentleman, Austin Vanderford.
Austin Vanderford, unbeaten, 10-0, including 4 wins here in the Bellator MMA cage. Yes, married to professional prizefighter Paige Van Zandt, but the gentleman, well, he is looking to maintain the O and get one fight closer to headlining the show with a championship opportunity.
He is looking for that. I'll tell you what, this is the fight that can put him in that position.
And let's take a look at the tail of the tape for this mouth-watering matchup.
I love this matchup. The tail of the tape for this, 10-0 for Austin Vanderford, 9-1 for Fabian Edwards. But take a look at that reach advantage. Fabian Edwards on the feet is very dangerous, 79.5 to 74. Vanderford has got to get that wrestling in a groove.
Here's Michael C. Williams.
From Mohegan Sun Arena, live on Showtime, Bellator MMA now features 3 5-minute rounds in the middleweight division. Introducing the blue corner. At 6'1", weighing in 185.5 pounds, he's near perfect as a professional with 9 wins, just 1 loss. He fights out of Birmingham, England, Fabian, the Assassin Edwards. And across the cage, his adversary fighting out of the red corner at 5'11", weighing in 185.3 pounds as a professional. He enters tonight undefeated at 10-0, fighting out of Coconut Creek, Florida, by way of Ninilchik, Alaska. Introducing the gentleman, Austin Vanderford. And your referee, Kerry Hatley.
Referee Kerry Hatley. Big John, you and I have been talking about this fight all week. A major matchup at middleweight. with
Our gentlemen, this is where your hard work
top
pays
10
off.
ranked
Ready?
fighters about to do battle the bell in round number 1. Undefeated Vanderford in the red gloves, while Edwards is in the blue gloves, fighting out of the southpaw stance.
Very nice to see Vanderford taking the center of the cage, coming at him. When you're looking at these guys, Vanderford is super athletic. He's like a Ram TRX truck, but Fabian Edwards is a Lamborghini. He is fast and he can move.
Yeah, but if you don't start the engine, the car doesn't move forward, and we are seeing Fabian Edwards a little more aggressive. But you know what? Just like Lamborghinis will be in 2024, John, once he gets going, he's electric. But right now, he's going down courtesy of Austin Vanderford.
Vanderford is absolutely beautiful with his level change, getting into Edwards, bringing him down. Edwards said he wanted to be in a fight with an American wrestler. Well, here you are. Let's see what you do with it.
And he said, leading to this fight, no one's ever just tried to get up after being taken down by Vanderford. Oh, really? Here's an opportunity.
And he had his feet in location, and you saw Austin Vanderford take that away. Look at how he laced the legs, brought him away.
Off balance, fans, yeah? Still off balance. There you go. There you go. Just
Vanderford now fighting out of American Top Team in Coconut Creek. He and his wife making the move from the picturesque Pacific Northwest, where worked with Fabiano Scherner, former head coach in Portland. Still wants to credit him as a man who has been instrumental in his career. Also worked with Chael Sonnen in Portland, but now at ATT with an embarrassment of riches.
Oh, I'll tell you what, you take a look at who he's training with right now. Everybody he's training with, you're looking at Amasoff, Dalton Rasta. I mean, everybody that's there, Johnny Eblin, they're all undefeated. So those guys are in a grouping where now it's like, well, who's going to lose first? Not me.
Remember my snafu when I said this is welterweights? Well, Yaroslav Amosov will be challenging Douglas Lima for the welterweight title. I'm assured of that. Bellator 260, Friday, June 11th, and the fans will be back in the fight sphere as we have Edwards back on his feet and hunting down Vanderford.
Very athletic move by Fabian Edwards to get himself up. He felt that shift of weight. He realized I can move, and he gets himself right back to his feet and lands a beautiful straight left hand down the pipe.
Revving up that engine.
It's a Lamborghini, baby.
Midway through the first frame, and Edwards from the southpaw stance, front kick. And when you look back at that fight with Costello Van Steenis, razor-thin decision, John, in favor of Van Steenis, knocking Edwards from the ranks of the unbeaten.
You know, it did, but you go back and you watch that fight, and one of the problems for Fabian Edwards, he starts so slow. He's kind of feeling his opponent out, and Van Steenis kind of just sneaked that round away. The second round, Van Steenis did a beautiful job. He won the round, but it was the way that Edwards came back in the third round and what he did in that third round that tells you everything you need to know about him as a fighter. He is a real fighter, and he is coming to knock your block off in the third round, the second round, the first round out. He's starting much faster in this fight than he has in his previous ones.
From Van Steenis to Vanderford, a minute and a half left here in the opening round. Straight left hand finds the mark for Edwards, and utilizing good footwork to escape Vanderford, who is trying to find a range and does land that body kick nicely.
That was a beautifully placed, hard kick to the body. But the one thing, if you're Fabian Edwards, don't worry about hitting hard. Just do exactly all this touching. Keep him at length. Use that reach that we talked about, 79.5-inch reach. Just keep touching.
Edwards representing Team Renegade. And there's a level change by Vanderford, well defended by Edwards.
Well defended, but he was able to drive him back, and he's got his hands closed around the legs. We'll see if Vanderford can do a better job of keeping Fabian on the ground, because Fabian was able to get himself back up when you saw Austin overextend in that body position.
Find the wrist straight away. There you go, there you go. No elbows, no elbows. There you go.
Vanderford telling us that he felt his style and his pressure would be too much for Fabian Edwards, and here in the final 15 seconds, putting the pressure on Edwards in the seated position along the fence, trying to improve his position. scooping out Edwards' legs as we come to the end of round one. And wow, can't wait to be back in the Punch Bowl. Carson, California, a breeding ground for incredible boxing battles. And Saturday, May 29, Showtime Championship Boxing presented by Premier Boxing Champions tees up another one. Former 4-division champion, future Hall of Famer Nonito Donaire challenges undefeated titleist Nordine Ubali. That's coming your way Saturday, May 29th, 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific, only on Showtime.
Ready for it, okay? It's very good kick. I need more the movement head. Okay, yes, sir. Fast is fake. Mix up every time. Believe your kicks.
Okay.
24, because after 24, 26 paces. On the ground, put the head in here and you push him so you can flat him out.
Yes, sir.
Okay?
Yep.
Lock his knees so you can close the knees together,
yes,
okay?
For me. Hustle up for me. All right, here we go. Round two, men. Round two. Ready? Let's go to work.
The bell in round number 2. Talk about adjustments you would like to see each athlete make here in the second stanza. Inside low kick lands for Edwards.
It landed a little bit high of the low.
Right here. See, it looked like, wow, to me it looked like into time, but it's again another shot to the peninsula south of the equator. Well, while we have a moment, John, talk about adjustments, other than the adjustment to the cup.
There's a replay, and you see, oh yeah, it came straight up. It was, that shot landed a lot, getting going faster than I would have. But yeah, absolutely, what you're saying, what they need to do, Vanderford needs to slow himself down in the stand-up, but time what Fabian Edwards is doing with that left hand. You see him every time he's starting to just cock that left leg, looking to shoot that left hand.
Beautiful smashing elbow strike to the face by Edwards.
That's what you need to do, is time those so you can get on your takedown.
And good sprawl, good takedown defense by Fabian Edwards here in the second round, looking to take away a major weapon from Austin Vanderford.
Absolutely. If Austin Vanderford cannot get the takedown, guess who has the big advantage here? Fabian Edwards needs to do exactly what we were talking about before. Keep him at length and just keep touching him. Shoot that straight left every time he makes a step inside. Hit him with the kicks. Don't worry about knocking him out with anything. If you touch him enough, he will go out.
Leg switched on as well, yeah? Little movements. That's it. Move to your left. Lovely. Put the left one. Lovely work, man, yeah? Don't hold hands.
One kick by the southpaw, another kick by Fabian Edwards, whose confidence appears to be building with each and every second that ticks off the clock here in the second round. Straight left hand finds its target.
Fabian has done an outstanding job of it. Even when he's been taken down, he's made Austin work hard at keeping him down. He's gotten himself back to his feet, and he's landed his strikes. That's smart right there. He sees his back against the cage. Let me get off the cage. Austin's going to get this. I would have liked to see Austin been smarter. You have him up in the air, bring him towards the center of that ring. That way he can't use the cage wall now to get himself back to his feet.
Vanderford started wrestling at the age of 5, two-time Alaskan State Wrestling Champion, wrestled for Southern Oregon University. For 4 years, was an NAIA National Wrestling Champion. And using his wrestling background to try to get back into this fight.
Austin just lost that leg. That was a big slip when he lost that right leg. It's going to make it a lot harder for him to keep it. That's why you see him with that wrist control on that right arm, trying to keep that from being able to use as the post to get him back up.
Some blood on the nose of Austin Vanderford. I don't know if that's the source, though. Final 2 minutes of the second round, and Edwards trying to get back to his feet while Vanderford looks to take Edwards back.
That was a nice job of Vanderford to come around that back.
Hook the leg. Get him off balance.
Turn into the cage if you want. Turn into the cage.
One leg.
Just like we saw before. You have all that pressure, bounce him off the cage.
North-south position there momentarily. Now Edwards on his back, and Vanderford dives right into the guard.
He's now with the positioning of it. Vanderford can use ground and pound here and not worry about him just using that cage to get himself up.
He's gonna give
Open half guard
Just be patient.
by Edwards.
I'll slide him up to the triangle. No hooks.
Off balance, Fabs, yeah?
Lock the triangle. Lock the
Off balance,
triangle.
you need to get your frames inside.
There you go. Now heavy hips.
Off balance and get them on.
This is the position that we talk about with Vanderford, where he's very heavy on top. A lot of guys are not real heavy with their hips. Good job by Fabian Edwards to get those hips up in the air, but you see Austin coming right back down, controlling position, getting heavy again.
And yet Edwards on his back trying to make life miserable for Edwards, just grinding away at his face with those elbows. 45 seconds left in the second round, and it continues to be Vanderford putting pressure from top position.
That is a lot of pressure. It doesn't look like anything when you're not in that position, but trust me, right now there's a ton of pressure that is coming down on Fabian Edwards.
30 seconds. Nice. There you go.
And Vanderford wanting to jump into side control, but now in the loose half guard of Edwards. Edwards wanting to activate his hips.
A lot of strength in those legs by Fabian Edwards to get that weight up.
Another elbow from his back delivered by Fabian Edwards, but it is Vanderford who ends the round in top position.
Time. Easy up. Good job.
While we are watching this important matchup between top 10 ranked middleweights, coming up, former bantamweight champion Darion Caldwell, after participating in the featherweight World Grand Prix where he made it to the semifinals, returns to the division that he once controlled to take on Leandro Ego for the second time. Back when Caldwell was champion in his lone title defense, he submitted Ego. Ego returns to the rematch with a lot more momentum.
A lot more momentum. A couple of wins under his belt, feeling good, but he didn't make weight.
And that's not a good thing.
Not a good thing.
I need it. And wait for him to come in, overcommit. You can't rest as soon as he's onto the legs or as soon as he's in that position, because he's getting harder for you to get back up straight away, bro.
Just to put a button on that, he's had issues making weight at 135.
Might be time to move up. Get a nutritionist.
All right, you got third round. Third round.
Third and final round.
All right, here we go, last round, ready?
Toughest test for both Austin Vanderford and Fabian Edwards. On your unofficial scorecard, Big John, how do you have this matchup
Especially
scored?
right now, I've got Vanderford up, but it could have been that Edwards got that first round, but no doubt the second round went to Vanderford. We'll see what happens in this round. This could be the round that determines the fight.
I love when you say no doubt, knowing that there are 3 judges seated around. 30 seconds gone here in the final round. You're an optimist, I get it. There's beautiful blinding with the right into the takedown by Vanderford. Beautiful entry.
Just beautiful technique. You saw him launch that hand up high, brings the hand right beneath the leg, drives forward, brings him straight to the ground. That was a smart, efficient takedown with little energy used by Austin.
And this is where, again, Fabian Edwards giving Austin Vanderford bulletin board material saying, yeah, but nobody's even tried to get up when you take him down. Well, again, very much easier said than done against a guy whose wrestling pedigree is very impressive.
It's so easy to watch someone say, I can move that guy around. Then you feel his pressure. But I'll give it to Fabian Edwards. He's had moments where he has elevated Austin up in the air off of him based upon a lot of strength.
But this is it now. With 3 minutes, 30 seconds left in the fight, you need to do whatever it takes to try to force a stand-up or a reversal, because time is running out, and this is where Austin Vanderford is comfortable being all day and all night.
exactly what you just saw. He needs to explode. He needs to turn his hips out, start to move his hips, just like you're seeing right there. That was a great job by Fabian Edwards. And you saw Austin Vanderford just move with it. He flowed right with it, right back into a half guard position.
Beautiful sequence. High-level mixed martial arts with Austin Vanderford looking to move to 11-0. 5-0 here in Bellator MMA, and Fabian Edwards fighting for the first time on American soil. Would love to bounce back after taking an L his last time out.
Fabian Edwards has that butterfly hook with his left leg. He needs to take that, start to elevate that leg, and then he needs to, again, explode those hips out to try to move Austin Vanderford off of him with that weight, so he can gain some space and get himself out.
Yeah, Vanderford was looking to neutralize Edwards' left arm with his knee momentarily, maybe trying to move to a crucifix position, but still content just to be on top and continue to put the pressure on Fabian Edwards.
Well, he looked for that arm triangle for a moment. Edwards saw it, felt it right away, and said, no, that ain't going to happen. You see him controlling that left hand with both of his hands.
And Edwards has to try to explode again. Instead, it's an explosive attack from Vanderford, going for that arm triangle attempt again, and Vanderford has 3 submission victories on his resume.
Really nice positioning of his head by Austin, putting that head right into that neck and chin area to push Fabian Edwards back flat down onto the canvas.
And in fact, it was in Vanderford's Bellator MMA debut at Bellator 215 in February of 2019 that he submitted Cody Jones via arm triangle choke.
90 seconds. Get your frames on the inside. Get that left arm on the inside. Left arm on the inside, pal. Push on his head.
See, right now, you see that left arm over the top of Austin's head. That is not where it needs to be. If Fabian wants to get out of this position, he needs to get that far side underhook. That left arm needs to get underhooked on the right arm of Austin Vanderford. That way he can utilize it to get up. If his arm is in the position it is around the head, he's not going anywhere.
Short elbows are fine.
Austin Vanderford following the game plan to a T.
There you go, sweet.
Working with the likes of another decorated wrestler and such a keen mind for combat sports, King Mo, who following his MMA career now coach an American top team. 40 seconds left on the clock, ground and pound from Vanderford. Elbow by Vanderford.
Beautiful elbow by Vanderford. You're so right about King Mo. He is, soon people are going to understand what kind of coach King Mo is. He is a brilliant strategist when it comes to fighting.
And he knows his boxing as well. Big fan of the sweet science. And I'm sure he's a fan of what Austin Vanderford is doing here, as it's become a bloodletting with these elbow strikes, John.
Crimson battle, as you would say.
Yes, as the late great pro wrestling announcer Gordon Soley would say, they're sporting crimson masks as we go to the judges' scorecard.
Stop. Okay, good job, man.
Wow, what a gash.
Let me get you off real quick. You got some pretty good cut.
A nasty cut on the forehead, John, and again, elbows aplenty both from the top and bottom.
You're going to see the elbow that cut him. Take a look right there. Beautiful slicing elbow. That's the one that cut Austin Vanderford for you. See the blood
it
right away.
It slices, it dices.
It does it all.
Well, sharper than a Ginsu for sure, that elbow strike. And yet after 15 minutes, John, with so much at stake again, 2 hungry, young, top 10 ranked competitors willing to put it on the line in order to prove to themselves just how good they are. How do you have it after 3?
After 3 rounds, I have Austin Vanderford winning this fight.
Because of stuff like this?
Because of the takedowns, the control, a lot of strikes on the ground. Not that Fabian Edwards didn't have his moments, but when it got into the later parts of the second round and into the third round, Fabian Edwards was unable to get himself up like you just saw right there. And it was Austin Vanderford that was able to utilize his wrestling, his ground and pound, just to do damage, just like you're seeing right here. That's the big difference in the fight. Nice attack right there. Beautiful elbow by Fabian Edwards. It just wasn't enough to do enough damage to stop what Austin was doing.
A bloody night at the office for Austin Vanderford, but was it a successful night? Will he walk out of the Bellator MMA cage still unbeaten? Fabian Edwards, in his first fight here in America, will he return to his native Birmingham, England, a winner? Let's find out. Here's Michael C. Williams.
Ladies and gentlemen, having gone the distance, we'll go to your three judges at cage side. Doug Crosby, Dave Torelli, Jacob Montalvo. All three seed exactly the same at 30-27. I'll have it for the winner by unanimous decision. The gentleman, Mr. Van Zandt, Austin Vanderford.
Huge victory for Austin Vanderford as he remains undefeated. Improves to 5-0 here in Bellator MMA. Currently ranked at number 3, and you know he will be watching with vested interest when Douglas Lima defends the title against Yaroslav Amosov coming up at Bellator 260 on Friday, June 11th. But right now, let's hear from the winner. Here's Big John.
Austin Vanderford, that was a beautiful fight. Congratulations on a big-time win. But you've got a couple of marks that were left on you. Talk to me about that fight.
Hey, man, I like them bloody, whether it's me or my opponent. I'm out here to scrap, and, you know, hats off to Fabian, cut me up a little bit, but happy to get the win, buddy. Like always, I told you, man, if it's not the first one, it's the second and third, fourth.
Talk to me about the third round. That takedown was beautifully timed. Beautiful job of faking that high hand, bringing it down. You got him down in the center of this cage. Big difference between you in the center of the cage and when he had his back against the cage.
Yeah, he was a big, strong guy. You know, I started feeling him give me that head and arm choke too. Unfortunately, I didn't capitalize on it, but I knew what I was gonna go out and do. I knew I was gonna grind it out, and you know, he's a good striker. I know how to be careful of that, but you know, I felt good, and like I said, man, wrestling, my heart, you know, moved to American Top Team, my coaches, Pahumpa Anderson, King Mo, all those guys, my wife, you know, and you know, it just paid off, and I'm ready for the next step.
Well, I'll tell you what, I cannot wait to watch it. I know she loves the scars, so don't worry about those. Congratulations on a big win. Can't wait to watch you again. Ladies and gentlemen, Austin Vanderford.
Austin Vanderford may be bloodier than an episode of Dexter, and I can't wait for that show to return to Showtime, but he'll take the blood, he'll take the win. He remains unbeaten, now 11-0, and he is moving on up. Let's go back to the fight desk.
Well, thanks, Mauro. Josh, I don't know what's more impressive, that performance or the ability to sit there and do an entire interview with blood just dripping down his face there. What do you think about Vanderford's performance tonight?
Well, I think he can go back to ATT and talk to all the guys that still have fights coming up, and his O is still there.
Right.
But what I was talking about earlier was that Fabian Edwards needed to not settle in on the bottom, and he settled in that third round on the bottom. Sure, he did some work from the bottom and the elbows and stuff, but you've got to get back up, and that's what I think ultimately cost him the fight. I had Vanderford winning, or not winning, but I had it tied up going into the third round. So whoever dictated the third round was going to win the fight.
Well, we talked about the implications in this fight. Let's take a look at the middleweight rankings. You know, he was ranked number 3. You know, we've got that championship fight already scheduled coming up. So who do you think he should face next?
My honest opinion, I think he should jump right to the top. After Tokov and Gegard Mousasi fight, I feel like he should be next in line. John Salter has already gotten his chance at the title shot. He came up short. And then Fabian Edwards just losing. Van Steenis, though, is making his way back up as well. So I honestly believe that he should be next.
All right, I like it. Well, we look forward to seeing him back in the cage. All right, well, we are just warming up here at Bellator 259, but this summer is going to be on fire. Here's what Bellator MMA has on tap for the month of June.
The Bellator MMA Championship Express continues rolling in June with 2 world title clashes. Friday, June 11th, welterweight world champion Douglas the Phenom Lima takes on top-ranked 25-0 Yaroslav Amosov in an explosive encounter. Then Friday, June 25th, it's a showdown for the interim heavyweight world championship as number 1 ranked Timothy Johnson slugs it out with number 3 Valentin Moldavsky. June brings plenty of heat inside the Bellator MMA cage, only on Showtime.
Well, 2 titles on the line in the month of June and 1 on the line tonight. In our last show, Sergio Pettis became the new bantamweight champ. Bellator is really delivering when it comes to the fights the MMA fans want to see. Now tonight, the former Bellator bantamweight world champ Darion Caldwell is making his return to 135 tonight, taking on Leandro Ego in a rematch. Now that first fight, it was a quick one. It was over 3 years ago. So Josh, what can we expect different this time around?
Realistically, I mean, you're going to see something very similar between the two. Darion Caldwell is going to try to get the takedown. He's going to try to hit that submission again. He's going to see if Ego puts himself in that same position again. I think with Darion, he just needs to go back to the well of what he does very well and stay relaxed. Great takedowns. He's a phenomenal wrestler. NC2A national champ. I mean, he's just former world champion. He's just someone that needs to stay relaxed in those positions. And you can see here, once he gets on the neck, once he gets behind you, like Adam Borg's found out, he is nasty good on the neck in submissions. He's just got to learn to stay composed, okay, and continue to use his wrestling, not expend too much energy doing something that's not going to work.
Well, you did say that there's some questions that need to be answered, him coming in tonight, so what needs to be answered?
There's a lot of things, and that's just me personally, I feel. But look, he's changed camps, so now he's going to have new corners. Now he's had new coaches throughout the whole camp. Okay, he's had new training partners. Have they helped him get better? What areas did they help him get better? Also, he's coming off of a loss to AJ McKee. What is his mindset? Changing camps after a loss. There's all questions that need to be asked. I could go on and on.
That's a lot.
But those are the main ones that I actually really care about. I want to see how he performs tonight and what's new to his game. It's going to elevate his level to potentially get into this. Scott Coker's talked about this bantamweight tournament. If he's going to be in there, he needs to get back in the rankings.
Well, we talk about confidence being such an important element to the fight game. Leandro Ego, he certainly has that. How has he grown and become more of a dangerous fighter since they first faced each other?
The whole Pitbull Brothers fight camp, their gym and their camp is all about patience now, letting the fight develop in front of them, making the fighters come to them, and then them countering and catching them. That's what they have done. That whole camp has done that. He is one of them that has done it. He's elevated his game to that next level. He's been phenomenal. Okay, but he also threatens something a lot of the Pitbull Brothers don't threaten, which is the grappling and the submissions. Patricio does, but he also threatens leg locks. He threatens triangles. He's really good on the ground. I've grappled him personally, and I was thinking to myself, this guy's really phenomenal on the ground in terms of his abilities to set up submissions, and he does very well with it. Leg locks, you could potentially see that tonight as well.
Well, Ego said in that first fight, he really underestimated Caldwell. He said he didn't feel like that he would be able to submit him. He said he learned a lot in that loss, and tonight it's going to be very different. Now, Ego, as Josh said, he is representing Team Pitbull Brothers, and what we know about them is that they always bring it. That should be make for a very exciting fight for as long as it lasts tonight. All right, to kick it off, let's head back down to Mauro Ranallo.
All right, Jen, thank you very much. Let's hope we do see a Bellator Bantamweight Grand Prix, but right now, former 135-pound champion rematches the man he submitted in his lone title defense. It's Darion Caldwell, Leandro Ego 2.
Just a win.
It don't matter, I'm running through him.
That is deep right now. It's over.
I'm gonna beat your ass too.
Pure dominance. Here comes the backflip. It's all over. Darion Caldwell. Leandro Ego.
Ego looking for that guillotine chest guard. And there's the tap.
Another submission finish for Leandro. Alter Ego.
And now, we welcome Leandro Alter Ego.
Well, Leandro Ego's Alter Ego, John, hasn't been doing him any favors. Yes, he's in the midst of a win streak, but for the second consecutive fight, he's missed weight.
When you sign that contract, you're a professional fighter. That means you're going to make that weight. That's something he needs to deal with and he needs to make right in his next fight. You know, it's nice that Darion Caldwell says, all right, it's okay. I will take the fight anyways.
And I don't mean to just bury the headline, but that is the headline. But this is what he's capable of, John.
This is against Sean Bunch, a beautiful wrestler. Makes mistakes, gets his head inside, beautiful guillotine choke. And then the same thing with Ricky Bandejas. He was eating Ricky up in the stand-up, gets to the point of getting him to the ground and just works the hands to the point where he slides that rear naked choke in there, puts the pressure, and that's what Josh is talking about. He knows what he's doing on the ground.
He has championship aspirations. They may just have to be at 145, but here he is taking on Darion Caldwell, looking to avenge the submission loss when Caldwell was the man. But man, the bantamweight division in Bellator, it has a whole new look.
It does. The Bellator bantamweights are stacked.
And the new sheriff at 135, his name is Sergio Pettis.
Ready now to make his way, Darion the Wolf Caldwell.
Well, to be the man, you have to beat the man, and Darion Caldwell at once upon a time was the man. He beat Eduardo Dantas to become Bellator 135 champion, an incredible athlete who made a run in the 145 Grand Prix before being submitted by AJ McKee in the semifinals, back down to 135. He says he's got a new lease on his MMA life because, well, he has moved his camp to Sanford MMA in Florida, but he's been making a lot of those kinds of moves lately.
He has been making those moves, and that's what questions when you look at what you're dealing with Darion Caldwell. You've got a supreme athlete. This guy is so athletic. He's so good with the wrestling. He does have a problem as far as using too much energy with that wrestling at times. But look at him here against Adam Borsch. He gets to a position, not even the fullback, but man, he sinks that choke in, and you can see how tight it is. He is deadly when he gets to your back and gets his arm around your neck. This is a guy that can beat anyone when his mind is right. And the real question is moving to Sanford that missing element that's going to get his mind right, make him feel great, and let him perform the way he actually can.
All right, let's take a look at the tail of the tape for our co-feature attraction here at Bellator 259.
Man, you take a look at all this, it all doesn't matter in the end because as you talked about, Morrow, 137.5, that is unacceptable. You should be making weight.
A man who always makes weight is Michael C. Williams.
Bellator MMA now presents the co-main event of the evening. 3 5-minute rounds in the bantamweight division. Live on Showtime. We introduce the blue corner. At 5'8", weighing in 137.5 pounds. His professional record, 20 wins, 5 losses from Mosoro, Rio Grande do Norte, Brazil, presenting Leandro Alter Ego. Let's go, baby! And across the cage, his adversary fighting out of the red corner. At 5'10", weighing in 135.6 pounds, dropping back down from featherweight. The former bantamweight world champion brings 15 professional victories, 4 defeats from Rahway, New Jersey, presenting Darion the Wolf Caldwell. In charge, Todd Anderson.
Todd Anderson, the referee, as we get set for this matchup with Darion Caldwell, known as the Wolf, hungry like a wolf to regain that bantamweight belt. Meanwhile, Leandro Higo, well, he wants to try to save some kind of face after missing weight yet again, looking to avenge an earlier submission loss.
Ready? Ready? Hey!
The bell, round 1, the southpaw, Caldwell in the red gloves, orthodox, Ego in the blue gloves. Their first fight ended in 2 minutes, 36 seconds.
It did. It ended that way because Ego did not give consideration to the submission skills of Caldwell and basically just tried to stand himself up from a bad position. Caldwell catches the guillotine, locked it in, got top side on it, and it was over. And you can't make those mistakes at a high level in MMA.
Ego had to surrender 20% of his purse. And one thing, though, with the Team Pitbull brothers, you're not going to get them to surrender very easily in that Bellator MMA cage. Anyone from their camp. Kick lands for Caldwell, fighting out of the southpaw stance. There's a calf kick by Ego.
Very nice, well-placed low calf kick. You can see, just look at the length of Darion Caldwell in the bantamweight division. It's amazing this guy can make that 135 pounds.
And Caldwell told us he knows that striking is his Achilles heel, and he's in good company now with the likes of Henry Hooft and Sanford MMA. So making the necessary changes to continue to sharpen his overall game, knowing that there is a new Shark Tank at 135.
Yeah, he'll be right in the middle of it. All he's got to do.
Oh, good level change into the takedown.
Right now, there's nothing there. Got full guard by Ego. He's got control of the head, but he's going for that figure four body lock, holding on to it. But right now, there's nothing as far as a submission.
And remember the mistake that Caldwell made that led to that modified neck crank by A.J. McKee in that last fight in the semifinals of the featherweight Grand Prix. But boy,
totally.
A.J. McKee as slick as they come.
It's just, you're talking again. We're talking about someone that grew up in this sport, and he's able to perform and do things that other guys they're not there yet.
And speaking of McKee, and speaking of the Pitbull brothers, McKee and Patricio Pitbull, one of the biggest, biggest fight, Bellator MMA history, still to come in the $1 million final of the featherweight Grand Prix. But right now, Caldwell with the old school can opener, and then looking to open up the forehead of Ego with these devastating elbow strikes.
Beautiful left elbow, man, and he has landed multiple strikes.
And there is the blood.
Bone on bone, you're going to get that. That was big, hard, heavy strikes by Darion Caldwell.
So Caldwell drawing first blood here in the rematch, working from top position.
Keep your shoulders flat.
I do not understand that body lock by Leandro Higo. All that is doing is keeping Darion exactly where he's at.
As Josh Thompson said about another fight, he's just settling in on his back like Fabian Edwards did in the last fight.
Yeah, you're not creating any problems for him. All you're doing is holding him on top of you, and right now, that's where he wants to be, and that's where he's doing damage.
Coming up on 1:30 left in the first round, so the fight has lasted longer than their first meeting, but it is again Darion Caldwell in dominant position, and yes, Ego with the closed guard here, but now Caldwell trying to create some separation, trying to posture up so he can continue to slice away.
Yeah, Caldwell doing exactly what he should do, trying to posture so he can land heavier shots.
Is he trying to do a little Mark Kerr as well, though, with that can? Did that ever work, Joe?
It is okay for trying to open the guard, but not. You're always in a position to get arm barred, so you need to be careful.
Under a minute left here in the first 5 minutes.
That's the old Tim Catalfo.
He sported some interesting facial hair back in the day.
Yes, he did.
45 seconds left. Here is Ego looking for the armbar from the bottom. Now the triangle. And good escape by Caldwell.
Eagle wasn't able to get that leg on the neck. It was more on the head, and that's why you saw Darion being able to slide his way out.
Of course, for Ego, 12 of his 20 wins have come via submission. Now looking for the leg. Looking for that heel hook.
There he needs to be careful with his leg. He should cross that leg over to defend right now.
And Caldwell, well, he has been submitted 3 times.
And all of this is based upon space.
And we'll make space for a 1-minute break here after round number 1. The sequel between Darion Caldwell and Leandro Ego. And Caldwell, once a wrestler, always a wrestler, Big John. The takedown led to his success in that first frame.
Yeah, right now, look at this beautiful level change right into the takedown. Now his head got stuck underneath, but he was not in the same position as A.J. McKee had him in. But look at these elbows. These were hard elbows that were landing multiple times. Beautiful job of bringing heavy elbow strikes down. He opens up Leandro Higo with one of those elbows. You saw the blood start to flow, and then inside, beautiful knee to the body inside. It's not easy to land a good knee in that because of the position of your body, but he does bring it in. Don't know how hard it actually landed.
Okay, you go.
Back up. We're going to call it time. Time! Doctor, he wants to see the cut. That's cool. Here we go, gentlemen. Timer. Ready? Ready? Hey!
Bell round at number 2. Former Bellator Bantamweight champion Darion Caldwell returning to the 135-pound weight class, looking for his second straight win against Leandro Higo, who for the second straight fight has missed weight. And a missed opportunity in that opening round for Higo.
Yeah, there was a lot of missed opportunity, but at least at the end, and what I was talking about of creating space, at least at the end of that's a nice little check hook. He was creating space, which allows you to then go for submissions. You know, in the middle of that round, when he was holding Caldwell into position, you're going, what are you doing? That's not going to get you anywhere. That's not going to set you up for a submission.
Elbows have led to a lot of blood tonight, and there's the total elbows landed, 10 of 11, 91%. That's a pretty good clip.
Not bad.
Yes. When he backs up like that, that's when you can take that ground. You just got to take inches from him.
A minute gone here in the second round, a cautious start. Have you seen any improvements, adjustments to Caldwell's approach to striking as he gets taken off his feet by Higo? Higo immediately attacking the back.
Caldwell needs to be a bit careful of that triangle. See the leg movement of Higo. It's not there. Nice job of getting himself to the top position by Caldwell.
And yet, instead of backing up, puts himself into the guard of Leandro Higo. And I just wanted to say, before I was really interrupted by Leandro Higo, and did you see some improvement in the approach to striking from Caldwell, even though it's a moot point with what's happening now?
Well, you know, it's funny because what you're seeing out of Caldwell, that southpaw position, just the stance itself, you can see is giving Higo some problems. He's not comfortable with it. So just in that right there, he's gained a little bit of, you know, just an advantage over Higo, just in the fact that it's slowed Higo's offense down.
Oh, but Higo delivering some elbows from the bottom. He's been very active with the strikes from the bottom. Meanwhile, Caldwell not doing much here from this position with the wide base and the closed guard of Leandro Higo.
There you go.
Body triangle. Caldwell's corner. Do you want to posture up and do something?
See, right now you're taking a look at what Caldwell is doing. He's sitting here putting his head more towards the sternum area of Higo, just accepting shots. Yeah, you're throwing a shot back to the body, but you're losing this as far as the way it looks to the judges. You need to bring your head, get up in posture, bring your head over his.
Because in this case, Higo is doing more from the bottom.
Exactly.
But I hate to say it, John, there are judges that will see Darion Caldwell at top position.
Vamos voltar de pé, Leandro. Bota o calcanhar no quadril. Muito difícil, vai.
Não para, trabalha. Anytime that your head is down towards the sternum of your opponent, you are in the position to be hit, and you have a hard time actually landing a good shot on him.
He's trying to control Higo's right hand, and now Higo's hands are free again, and really Caldwell has done absolutely nothing with this takedown.
This is what we see out of Darion Caldwell a lot, is he gets in these positions where he's been wrestling, and he just tries to wrestle and let the fight get to the point.
The marquee says Bellator MMA.
Exactly. You've got to fight. You've got to try to end the fight. If you're working to finish the fight, that's what the judges are going to be giving you credit for.
Find the ear, Higo. Find the ear.
Under a minute left here in the second, and while Caldwell's in top position in the body triangle, there delivers a elbow strike, but it's been Higo delivering strikes. Sure, they're not punishing, they're scoring shots, and he's more active, and he's doing what's needed.
They're not going to knock Darion Caldwell out. They're not going to stop the fight, but they're annoying, and right now, volume-wise, it's on Higo.
Half minute remaining here in the second round.
I still do not agree with the body lock position.
That's it. Touch that
It's
ear.
a position where, as far as you're locking yourself in there, saying, I'm just going to strike here, because you're not. There's no way for you to even go for a submission with your legs in that position.
Grab them gloves.
You've got to open them up.
Grab the fingers. Don't grab the fingers. You need 3 or more. There you go.
Give me one more. Give me one more. Hard.
Let him go. Let him go.
Well, Darion Caldwell was once king of the Bellator MMA bantamweight division, and I want to talk about, well, the 4 kings. Roberto Duran, Marvin Hagler, Thomas Hearns, and Sugar Ray Leonard famously fought one another in a series of 9 incredible fights. And Showtime Sports documents the seismic collection in a 4-part series, The Kings, premiering Sunday, June 6th at 8 p.m. Eastern and Pacific.
You have to be fighting for something.
Boxing for me was a way of making a statement.
Racism was a big thing in our life.
Sports provides heroes for us. Lord knows politics doesn't.
Those who say there are no heroes just don't know where to look.
You have to be burning to become something that society told you you couldn't be.
This one will go all the way.
No matter where you've come from, your race, your creed, if you're determined enough, if you're trained enough, if you care enough, you can become champion of the world.
Cannot wait for the Kings. Unfortunately, we lost one of them, Marvelous Marvin Hagler, earlier this year. But coming up on Sunday, on what would have been his birthday, they are celebrating the life of Marvelous Marvin Hagler in Brockton. Our own Hall of Fame broadcaster, Al Bernstein, will be a part of it. And I can't wait for the Kings. 4-part series coming up June 6th on Showtime. And John, your unofficial scorecard heading into the 3rd round. This fight is hanging in the balance.
Right now, I have this fight where it's... Wow! Nice job by Darian.
That was wild.
That was beautifully done by Darian to catch that arm. He comes behind. But Ego's the one that initiated that action. We'll see what ends up as far as the position. But Darion Caldwell needs to start fighting. He's wrestling well, but this is a fight, and he gets into these positions where he's continuing to wrestle, and there's no striking, nothing as far as submissions, and so all he's doing is controlling, and he needs to get away from that.
So we are going to see that sense of urgency here again. The former champion wanting to move back into the top 10. Leandro Ego, who is trying to show that he's still a professional fighter despite losing weight, missing weight back-to-back fights, and yet 90 seconds into the final round, this is what we're getting, Johnny.
Well, right now, this is a position where both guys are going to decide, am I going to do enough to take this fight? Because I have it right now. I have this thing even. We'll see what happens. But again, Darian's in a position, but this position doesn't do anything if you don't do anything with it.
Don't grab inside the glove. Don't grab inside the glove. There we go.
Right now,
I think the referee's been more active than the fighters in this position.
Right now, as you're looking at it, you're seeing that Darion Caldwell has the better position, but if you don't do anything with that position, it doesn't do anything for you.
There's a knee strike.
Give me another one. That's what I'm looking for. Give me the submission attempt at the guillotine.
And now it's Ego looking for the, well, he's in north-south position now, putting pressure on Darion Caldwell.
He's looking to come around that arm, get towards the back. You see Darion trying to square up with him on that.
There are 2 minutes and 26 seconds left in this fight. Sergio Pettis, the newly minted 135-pound champion. We talk about the prospects of a Bellator Bantamweight Grand Prix.
Nope, up. Lost the position. You need him in the head. Let's go. Up. Where's the interpreter?
Right now, you can watch
When
the
he's on
left.
the ground, he has to be
See the
cognizant
left
not
knee
to
of
put
Ego.
that knee
It
on
comes
his
in.
head.
It
He's
doesn't go to
losing
the
his-
shoulder. It
he's
actually
losing his
touches
position because of that.
Darion Caldwell on the head.
No, head. Ready? Turn around. Ready?
The penalty that Todd Anderson, as the referee, is giving him is not taking a point, but he's taking the position away since Ego had the more dominant position.
I think MMA fans want that, considering what's at stake now with 2 minutes, 5 seconds. Who wants it more here in this rematch? The first of our 2 rematches here tonight. Still to come in the main event. Chris Cyborg will defend the Bellator featherweight crown against Leslie Smith as Caldwell again changes levels, looks for the takedown, and it's defended by Ego.
Well, he looked for the takedown, but he stuck his neck out there, and he's in trouble right now.
And Ego looking to want to return the favor.
He can get that arm tight. Nope. Nice job by Darian to get out, but he was in trouble.
Ego was submitted in their first fight, looking to return the favor to Darion Caldwell in the rematch. And remember, it was via guillotine choke that Caldwell successfully defended the bantamweight belt back at Bellator 195, March 2018. That was then. This is now.
Caldwell needs some urgency here. He needs to get himself up out of the position. Don't sit here on your knees and give this fight to Leandro Ego.
Final minute. Caldwell rolling, and now Ego on top. Takes the back, feeds a left hand under the armpit to the face of Caldwell. Caldwell now trying to control his arm, and then Ego resorts to some knees to the gluteus maximus. Never thought I'd be saying that, but I just did.
So you're going to see Ego looking for that hook. He gets both hooks. Now he's got the ability to control the back of Darian. Darian needs to spin inside of that. That's what he's trying to do right now. And he ends up getting to that position.
Will Darion Caldwell's return to the bantamweight division be a successful one, or will Leandro Ego, despite missing weight, avenge an earlier loss? So I asked the questions, John, on your unofficial scorecard. What's the answer?
Well, you asked the questions, but it doesn't mean that I have to answer. You know, you look at that fight, and it's. I had Caldwell winning the first round. I had Ego just landing volume-wise better strikes overall, even though he was on his back for a lot of the second.
But we saved
Could be the judges are going to look at that differently. And then I give Ego the last round, so I have Ego winning the fight 29-28.
Make sure you're all good up there.
This is what started the fight with Caldwell in that takedown position. Got his head in a bad position, but he was okay. Then he landed some big-time elbows. This is what won him the round right here. About 10 beautifully landed elbows, just one after the other. Just did great work. And then he ended up getting to the position, goes for the knee to the body. All good work, but then it started to change. He had that kick where he ends up, gets to a position, he gets on top, but he didn't do any work there. He more wrestled than anything and didn't land a whole lot when it came to strikes from the guard. Then he gets to the position, he gets the back again. He's got the back, but he does nothing as far as doing anything with position. And this is the end of the fight. You see him finally starting to throw some strikes.
Pretty good performance.
Wasn't enough.
Pretty good. I'm young and rich and I might steal your bitch. I'm good, Dean. Thank you.
Michael C. Williams is in the cage. And let's find out who the winner is.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the decision, we'll go to your 3 judges at cage side. Your first, Jacob Montalvo, scores the fight 29-28. He sees the fight for Caldwell. Your second judge, Marcel Varela, scores the fight 29-28. He sees it for Ego. Your third and final judge at cage side, Dave Torelli. scores the fight 29-28 for the winner by split decision, Alejandro Alter.
So, Leandro Higo, there is a celebration. They might want to remember that he did in his way, but he evens the series with Darion Caldwell and one apiece. John, your overall thoughts on what we just watched?
My overall thoughts is that, you know, Darion Caldwell is just this incredible athlete, and I hope that at Sanford MMA they can get him to understand that he needs to utilize all of his MMA skills instead of just the wrestling. It's going to change what he does in the cage, and I think he's going to see just an improvement in his overall game.
Let's go to Jen Brown.
Well, thanks, Mauro. 2 weeks ago, Showtime officially confirmed a long-rumored event at the Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. Well, Floyd Mayweather will face social media star Logan Paul. And let's just say, well, things got a little interesting.
So what's going on, everybody? We're behind the scenes, we're working.
Now, we have you mic'd up because I heard you wanted to be mic'd up. Is this gonna get a little rowdy?
Good. Gotta have you doing. Gotta have you on there. So, dude, everything good?
Yeah, amazing.
Cool,
Good to see
cool,
you.
cool. Likewise. June 6th. Get ready?
Oh, we're gonna walk?
My opponent is small. My opponent is small. My opponent is small.
Well, I came out of retirement just to get re-retired.
So guess what? I'm willing to fight both in the same night. But one thing we do, we kick ass. That's one thing I do.
Yeah, we do. I don't want to go there. Yeah, I'm trying to steal his hat. I swear to God.
Floyd, do you just laugh at all that stuff up there?
Oh, I heard that so many times. So many times. I'm a real fighter, and I'm the real deal.
What's up? You wanna run it 2-on-1 night?
Yeah. Let's make it happen.
Yes, sir.
Get the best work for this ball.
Get El Heyman.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Let me call El Heyman. Let's make it happen. 2-on-1 night. Got your hat.
No camera. No camera.
No, seriously, we gotta get fucking serious about this shit. This ain't cute anymore.
Joined by social media sensation / professional pugilist Logan Paul. Logan, you are facing Floyd Money Mayweather in an exhibition extravaganza titled Bragging Rights, coming up on Sunday, June 6th, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on Showtime pay-per-view. I know you've played football, you've been a wrestler. Talk about preparations for this fight and the allure of boxing.
Look, dude, it's not an exhibition. You know, I've been saying this, like, what exhibition is 8 3-minute rounds? You know, this is a fight. This is a fight, and if Floyd didn't want to rip my head off before my brother took his hat, now he's trying to kill me. You know, he's trying to make an example of the big brother, so the younger brother has to suffer and watch and witness. Like, I don't know if you've seen Scarface, but that's what he's trying to do. This is going to be a war. Like, I am not going to make this shit easy for him. We've been training our asses off for 8 months now and preparing to fight this guy. I'm 30 pounds heavier. I'm like 6-7 inches taller, half his age, and hungry. And I got nothing to lose. I have nothing to lose. I'm going in there with that energy, you know, and he got everything to lose. There's a lot on the table for him, not a lot on the table for me, and that's a dangerous man.
Now, you and your brother are interested in all combat sports. You, of course, have been a wrestler in high school. You're going to face Floyd Mayweather Sunday, June 6th in Miami. But you also had, I understand, a lunch with Bellator MMA president Scott Coker last year in Miami. Would you ever be interested in trying your hand at mixed martial arts?
Yeah, absolutely. I actually think probably be better at MMA because of my wrestling background. I will say it is a tough sport. It's harder than boxing. MMA fighters are legitimate, all around 360-degree fighters. I've had some knee issues on both knees, and it's rough on the body, but I can't not do one MMA fight before I die. You know, I'm gonna do at least one, and if I win, I'll probably do another.
It seems like everyone is calling out the Paul brothers. I know you have a rivalry with Bellator MMA fighter Dylan Dennis, you and your brother Jake. How do you see that playing out?
No rivalry, man. That was something in the past that was like cute, you know, like Dylan thought he could step up and box us. Jake put the offer on the table for Dylan, and he didn't take it. So Jake knocked out Ben Askren instead. Yeah, I don't know. Next question.
All right, well, it doesn't get any bigger than what is going to go down on Sunday, June 6th when it comes to combat sports. You are stepping into the ring with Floyd Money Mayweather. You're calling it a real fight. It's not an exhibition. How do you see it playing out? What is the truth you seek from yourself when you go into the ring with, again, the best boxer of his generation?
You know, it's a fight, man. It's a fight, so anything can happen. Mentally, I've prepared for the best, and I've prepared for the worst. And for those people telling me that it's impossible, you'd be lying if you said there wasn't a chance that I could beat him. So, yeah, I think I'm going to go in there and decapitate him in the first round. And if it doesn't happen, we're going for the second, and then the third, and the fourth. Who knows, it could go the distance, but it's going to be a fucking show regardless.
And newly minted Basketball Hall of Famer Kevin Garnett, he said it best, anything is possible. It will be Floyd Mayweather and Logan Paul for bragging rights. Sunday, June 6, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, only on Showtime pay-per-view.
Well, you gotta love Logan Paul's confidence and swagger there. I can't wait to see these two worlds collide. Will it break the internet? Now that is the big question. All right, join in on the conversation with us tonight. Use hashtag Bellator259 because up next, our main event. It's a rematch with more on the line than vengeance. The featherweight world title bout between two MMA veterans, the champion and Bellator's pound-for-pound best Chris Cyborg, and the contender Leslie Smith, who says fighting Cyborg is like the boss battle at the end of a video game, and there is no other fighter that she would like to take the belt from. Well, both women told us this week, they said, look, we have evolved since that first fight 5 years ago. So, Josh, what can we expect different in this fight?
I think you're going to see a more patient Cyborg in this fight, but I think she's going to continue to do what she always does. She's going to walk you down, be a little bit more tighter with her defense, because she's going to respect Leslie Smith a little bit more, knowing that she's been waiting for this for the last 5 years. She knows that Leslie's going to come in with a little bit of a different game plan, but she's still going to put the pressure and try and drag her into the later rounds. You know, in terms of what Cyborg does really well is she pushes people to the fence. She puts their back on the fence and she unleashes fury with her hands and her knees and her elbows. In her last fight, or in her fight before Blakeout, she fought Julia Budd. She went to the body a lot. Then when she got to Blakeout, she changed it up. She used a lot more of her grappling. She did a phenomenal job of getting her first submission against Blakeout. She fought a smart fight in both of those fights. She's going to have to fight another smart fight against Leslie Smith because Leslie Smith has been preparing for her for 5 years now. And so she understands what she needs to do and get done.
So where can Leslie Smith tonight present the most problems for Chris Cyborg?
Well, she's got to put Chris Cyborg on her back foot. If she can do that, if she can press Cyborg to the fence, dirty boxer, hang on the head, uppercuts, elbows, those type of things. The one thing that I want to point out is that Leslie Smith is really good at getting that high kick up to the head fast. And if she can do that off of an exchange, okay, and getting Cyborg going backwards, walking right into it, a little bit like how we saw Nemkov do to Ryan Bader. You can get something like that to happen. I think she can change the dynamic of this fight. And you can just see her do, like she just did right there, okay, against Sinead Kavanaugh. If she can do something like that in the exchanges, get that head kick up there, I think she's got a good chance to upset Cyborg.
Well, she did say she wants to get this fight into deeper water. She feels like that favors her as the fight goes on. All right. Well, Leslie said that this rematch has been on her mind every day for the last 5 years, and now, well, that moment is finally here. Mauro, back over to you.
All right, thank you very much, Chris Cyborg. One of the best to ever lace up the gloves is going to defend the title for the second time. And for the second time, she will face Leslie Smith.
I love animals. My mom would like to be dentist, but in my heart, I would like to be veterinary. We have some chickens, have like 5 chickens. We have fresh eggs every day. His name is Manny Porcal. And we go pick up him. He's very little. He's like this size. So cute. And then he's supposed to stay this size. He's not the little one, but we love him.
My dad's a minister, and so I grew up in the church, spent a lot of time wearing dresses that had like the white collar with like lace around it. You know, it's super uncomfortable. And so finding a place where I could feel like I was doing my thing, definitely it was sports that gave me that. So I have always had my eye on whoever is the fastest and the best and the strongest, and that's always been what I want to get to.
And how crazy it is, I was playing professional handball, and one guy saw me play handball, and then he say, I think you can be a great fighter. And I look at him, fighter? What is this? Like, I never think about fighter. No, I didn't know the guy saw me. He's a black belt from Shoot the Box gym. I didn't know anything, but I started practicing training, and I have in my heart when somebody punch me, I like to punch back. And my coach say, no, this is you born with. My mom don't want a fight. She said, no, I know this is not for you. You need to study. She say she want to be dentist. But now you say, okay, I'm a professional fighter. Oh, cool. People knows now, you know, it's nice. Change the mind, especially for women's MMA.
She's the first fight that I watched on TV was Cyborg against Carano.
The energy in this crowd is unbelievable.
Carano's in trouble. She is now the Strikeforce Women's World Champion, Chris Cyborg.
First one, the Strikeforce. Second one, I was getting Invicta. Third one is the UFC belt. Now is the Bellator. Everyone have a struggle. Everyone is now have a challenge in my life. Everyone is important, you know.
It's fascinating how people can create this persona of being indestructible. No one's indestructible. The first time that I fought Chris 5 years ago, I thought I had a chin of iron.
I think my style of fight is different. The other fight is more violent.
I'm not overwhelmed. I don't give a fuck. Like, let's go. I mean, that's what we're here for. Let's do it.
5 years pass. I'm a better fighter. You know, we've been training. I'm aware to fight. I'm turned cyborg. For sure, she's a better fighter too. I like to motivate people.
Chess has definitely helped me to gain the patience to be able to take my time and to set things up so that I can strike at the right time.
I like to punch. Before I just go. And now, you know, I go, but patient, see the right moment to finish.
The thing that I'm gonna look forward to the most, coming back to my team and saying we did it.
Not just to be the world champion, but to be the champion of people's hearts. This is the most important for me.
Set now to make her way the challenger, Leslie, the Peacemaker Smith.
38-year-old Leslie Smith started fighting 12 years ago when she was 25 without any base in martial arts, and she said if she can make it this far, then anyone could reach levels in martial arts they never dreamed of, no matter how old they are when they start. Now, she said in that great feature that she's playing chess to learn to become more patient. And to paraphrase Canadian bar spitter Belly's new joint Money on the Table, John, tonight she is playing chess with the Reaper. And the only way the Peacemaker can make peace with what happened 5 years ago, well, is by having the fight of her life tonight.
You're absolutely right, but this is what she has been working towards. She's always had this fight, this rematch in the back of her mind. This was what she wanted. I can tell you this, I have watched Leslie Smith for many years. She has fought the best of the best, and she is always in the fight. She is the real deal when it comes to mixing it up in that cage. Keys to victory for Leslie Smith in this fight is she has to keep her back off of the fence. If she has her back on the fence, you figure you're losing. get to the middle of the cage, turn her. Use your pressure to initiate the exchanges, but be smart in how you initiate those and do not take excessive damage.
She has spearheaded many social projects. Tonight, she wants to spear the biggest fish in the Bellator MMA featherweight pond and avenge a loss that she felt was, well, a premature stoppage 5 years ago. That was then, this is now. Leslie Smith ready to shock the world.
And now, the reigning Bellator Featherweight World Champion, Chris Cyborg.
Cannot overstate what kind of a special athlete it takes to be on top as long as she has been. Again, we talked at the top of the show, this past Monday, the 16th anniversary of her professional MMA debut. It was right here on Showtime, August 2009, that she and Gina Carano made history, headlining a major MMA event. And here we are, May 21st, 2021. Chris Cyborg, the Bellator MMA featherweight champion, about to defend the title for the second time. Yeah, sure, her mom wishes she would have become a dentist, but tonight MMA fans hope that she and Smith fight like a dentist and a carpenter, John, tooth and nail.
Well, her mom was right. She did become a dentist. She's been an orthodontist, rearranging people's teeth throughout her career. So she kind of did what her mom wanted. Let's just be honest about this. Chris Cyborg, when she steps in the cage, is a marauder. She is a killer. But she's one of the kindest human beings outside of the cage. She does humanitarian work, works with Justin Wren, fight for the forgotten. This is a lady that cares about people. She is a special, special human being. Chris Cyborg's keys to victory for this fight, pretty simple. Take advantage of Smith's aggression. Since she's a very aggressive person, use that aggression with counter strikes. Use your takedowns when the opportunity is there, and use that ground game. Since you just got that black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, you showed in your last fight, you can get a submission win. Maybe it can happen here again tonight.
Their first fight took place in front of 50,000 people in Cyborg's hometown of Curitiba, Brazil, a half-decade ago, and at a catchweight, remember. Tonight it is for the Bellator Featherweight Championship in a mostly empty fight sphere, a decidedly different atmosphere, but they are going to bring it, that's for sure, as we look at the tail of the tape for the Bellator 259 main event.
Tell this tape very simple. 69-inch reach for Chris Cyborg to 65.5 for Leslie Smith. That really doesn't matter since Leslie Smith does most of her good work inside.
Here is Michael C. Williams.
Bellator MMA live on Showtime from Mohegan Sun Arena. The time has come for tonight's main event. 5-minute rounds for the Bellator Featherweight World Championship. Sanctioned by the Mohegan Tribe Department of Athletic Regulation, Chairman James Gessner, President of Sports and Entertainment Tom Cantone, Director Mike Mazzulli, and supervising at cageside Brendan Kaliwa. And now, first introducing the blue corner. At 5'9", weighing in 143.6 pounds. In her first Bellator World title fight, she stands with 12 professional victories, 8 losses, 1 draw. Fighting out of San Francisco, California, the challenger, Leslie, the Peacemaker Smith. And across the cage, the champion tonight fights out of the red corner at 5'8", weighing in 144.6 pounds. In her second defense of the Bellator title, she enters with a formidable professional record of 23 victories, 18 by way of knockout against just 2 defeats. From Curitiba, Bahia, Brazil, introducing the defending Bellator Featherweight World Champion, Chris Cyborg. In charge of the action, your referee, Dan Mergliata.
All right, ladies, been through the rules in the locker room. Want to obey my commands at all time. Want you to protect yourselves at all time. You ready to touch gloves? Back to your corners. Good luck to both of you.
Chris Cyborg back on Showtime, and it is go time for the Bellator MMA Featherweight Championship. And it is for that prestigious prize, the 145-pound belt.
Are you ready? Let's go, ladies.
The sequel between Chris Cyborg, the champion in the red gloves, the challenger Leslie Smith in the blue gloves, is underway. After losing her professional MMA debut, Chris Cyborg went undefeated for 13 years. 14 of her previous 18 fights have been championship affairs.
Kick out. 1, 2, out. Good job. Nice. Getting that read. Doing great.
And we're already seeing, John, the patience and the adjustments that they have made since their first meeting 5 years ago.
Great right hand to the body by Chris Cyborg, but this is the difference of what we're seeing in Cyborg compared to when she did fight Leslie Smith 5 years ago. She is a much more patient, relaxed fighter, and she doesn't just get into this marauder, throw left, right, left, right, left, right.
Oh, there she's throwing up effective left rights and the left hook on the exit. And you know she had suffered the knockout loss to Amanda Nunes, and a loss is supposed to be a learning experience, and she has learned and made adjustments since then.
Look, the very best have lost. Michael Jordan lost. Tom Brady has lost. Take a look at all the people that are at the pinnacle of their sport. They've all lost. Chris Cyborg learned from that loss. She's a better fighter tonight than she was on that night.
90 seconds have elapsed here in the first round, scheduled for 5. Body kick by Cyborg.
That was a nice little movement by Leslie Smith. Cyborg threw the right hand. You saw Leslie actually move with it to take some of the steam off of it.
Smith said her ideal takedown is a knockdown. Longtime member of the Scrap Pack with Gilbert Melendez and his wife Carrie Melendez in her corner tonight as Cyborg backs up and delivers a body kick. 3 minutes left in the first round. The first fight lasted 81 seconds, controversial stoppage.
A lot of feints, a lot of traps being set. Both of them just taking their time. Nice right hand by Chris over the top.
Lead left uppercut by Smith, the calf kick, and then Cyborg beautifully executed 1-2 combination through the guard of Leslie Smith. Midway point of the first.
Smith had landed that right hand, but Cyborg returned.
Oh, and another right cross and the left hook that landed for Smith. There's the 1-2 drop, Smith, and Cyborg pounces.
This is very important right here. A lot of times in the past, Chris wouldn't. She would sit there and try to stand over. Now she's using that ground game.
And she's coming off her first career submission win in her first title defense, submitting Arlene Blanco via rear naked choke at Bellator 249 last October. Smith has never been submitted.
Good work by Leslie Smith. This is not a bad thing when you get hurt like that, you get dropped. Get your composure. You have that person close to you. Just hold on. Keep that nice little position with her right leg. Keeping Chris where she's at. It's okay that she's inside control right now. This is all time to get your head clear.
90 seconds, Chris. Let's hang out here. You're trying to pass them out, Leslie. Be ready for that. You're looking me on the belly. Good. You're going to try to go right on the belly. Nice. Yes, Les. It's worked out.
Nice step over. That was a beautiful move by Chris. She anticipated Leslie going to her knees, steps right over it.
Go bring your elbow. Left elbow. Throw it. Go your left elbow.
Leslie Smith putting her hand down. There's a knee to the belly. Wow, what a suplex by Chris Cyborg. Mamma mia. And then a series of hammer fists on Leslie Smith. Explosive suplex by the champ.
That's the difference of Chris Cyborg compared to most women fighters. She has that explosive strength where she could just basically ragdoll her opponent and a suplex like that.
And Smith back on her feet, feinting, trying to find a path trying to navigate the landmine that is trying to close the distance against Chris Cyborg.
But look at what she's doing. She is moving forward. That says a lot. After everything that you've seen, look who's moving forward right now. It's Leslie Smith.
No surprise, her name is Leslie Smith, and she has always come forward, always wanting to entertain. For crying out loud, she almost lost her ear in a fight and earned the respect of hardcore wrestling legend Mick Foley, who I know is watching tonight and cheering on the Peacemaker. As we come to the end of the first round of this Bellator Featherweight Championship affair.
Some of the shots right now, take a look at a beautiful shot to the body, combination, come back to the head. Those are the things we talk about, those combinations where it's not just 1, 2, there's a 3, 4. Those are the ones that are gonna land. You see, watch the strength right here of Chris Cyborg. Just utterly picks Leslie Smith up with pure strength. A lot of technique, but there's a lot of strength being used right there. Brings her over the top. That was an outstanding mini suplex.
Go.
Right hand to the body, back to the head, inside kick, double up some kicks sometimes. When you have her back and head, attack.
Bellator fighter Gary Melendez, the wife of Gilbert Melendez, giving instructions to Leslie Smith. Nice to see both participants in my favorite MMA trilogy of all time in the same building. Gilbert Melendez and our Josh Thompson.
Second round, let's go, ladies.
We are in the midst of the rematch between Chris Cyborg and Leslie Smith as round 2 begins.
Make her come to you. Make her come to you. Be patient. Make her come to you. No rush. We got 5 rounds. Call her in.
Patience is a breach.
Think you're down when you get out. Yeah. Let's get out. Back out.
I will give it. You can listen to what Gilbert Melendez is saying, and what he's talking about is let her come to you, because Leslie is that person that comes forward so hard. They have trained in this. You can't do that. You need to let her at times come to you, and you then counter with your strikes.
Nasty body kick landed for Cyborg. Counter right hand scores for Smith as Cyborg went to the body with a nice right hand.
She did.
Calf kick, inside calf kick by Smith. And that's the one thing about Leslie Smith, John. She is not intimidated by Chris Cyborg. Just the second rematch in Cyborg's illustrious career, and Cyborg, well, leading the striking parade.
Well, there's no doubt. She's winning that right now, and she's landed the heavier, bigger strikes in this fight. There's a lot of time left in the fight.
Block and elbow, block and go. Tyson.
Overhand right curl behind the guard of Smith. Well placed by the champion. Stabs Smith in the body with that straight right hand. Smith trying to, well, moving to her right.
Nice defense, Leslie.
I was just going to talk about how Chris cuts off that cage a lot of times. See that big movement? Takes the proper steps. Not only come across, but even towards Leslie, which stops her motion.
Right hand to the body and another body kick, and Leslie Smith fires back, allowing herself to reset in the center. Very methodical, patient attack from both fighters. Beautifully placed left hook, curling around the guard of Smith. And it's all about the punch placement and the proficiency, the accuracy, the efficiency. It's Chris Cyborg. She's the Bellator Featherweight Champion.
Well, the one thing, think about Chris in the past and think about all of that. It's almost like it was a shootbox tradition. Those big looping punches. Take a look at all the straight shots that Chris Cyborg is throwing right now.
She said something interesting. When she first started career, she felt that she almost had to, quote, fight like a man to earn respect. And there were those gym wars at shooter boxing. And again, we are seeing the maturation, and there's a reason for her longevity, John. If she would have continued to be that force of nature, who knows what, but she's made the adjustments, and here she is now at the age of 35 on top of the mountain and landing a beautiful combination on Leslie Smith's face.
Yeah, right now she's fighting better than she has ever fought in her career. She is more controlled, she's more patient, she's more accurate. Everything about what she does in the cage right now is better.
That in itself makes her more dangerous. 2 minutes left there. Another jab from the champion. Right hand to the body. Smith eats that calf kick, but Leslie Smith standing in front of her, trying to stand her ground.
Jab's gonna stop all that shit.
And on cue, Cyborg delivers the jab that would what? Stop all that. Stop. We're on Showtime. Minute and a half left in the second round.
Nice job of going to the body. All of those shots to the body, they just pay dividends as the rounds go on.
Leslie, pop that jab, pop that 1-2.
And now Gilbert Melendez imploring Smith to pop the 1-2, but she's unable to try to get on track. There's a sweet little jab that lands for Smith.
It was when you're starting to see Leslie Smith just right there. Did you notice that she reacted on the kick?
Well, that calf kick, yeah.
She's starting to...
Oh, body kick by Cyborg.
All of these shots are starting to take a toll because she's accepted a lot of damage. Now, she's still fighting hard, but she needs to slow that progression down.
She's Chris Cyborg in the cage, Chris Justino outside of the cage, and she is really leading the life of a champion out at Huntington Beach, California. Oh, she got wrong in the work, and there's Smith backing up, body kick by Chris Cyborg. She smells the kill here, and Smith trying her best to defend, but gets taken down.
She got hit by a huge right hand that hurt her badly.
And yet she's still standing.
She just ate a jab. She's still rocked from that shot. She just ate two more. Left hand, right hand. You see what happens when all these things start to add up. It's the volume adding up. Just eventually, all of a sudden, your body just starts to shut down from the damage.
Strong second round for the champion who rocks Smith again, right at the bell. Leslie Smith has been stopped twice in the first meeting to Chris Cyborg, and then she was stopped by Jessica I. That was a doctor stoppage because of what happened to her ear, John, against Jessica I.
It was a doctor stoppage. She was pissed.
Overhand right with the jab.
I can tell you, she was ready to fight the doctor.
Overhand right, okay? And now you're moving back. Now we got to set, and we got to push forward with punches, okay?
Watch the shots here.
Forward with punches, not on our heels.
Big left
you're doing
hook.
Great. You're in this fight.
But it was the right hand near the end of the second round. It was the one that definitely, you see how it just froze her. You see how she had that stumble step? Watch this right hip right there. That stung.
Slipping jab, and then big
another look, big right there, big right hand. You see her just freeze. The legs start to go jelly. She has to use her skeletal frame to hold balance.
Trying to walk it up, trying to regain her faculties here, getting set for what could prove to be a pivotal round 3 side. The champion, Chris Cyborg, hurt the challenger, Leslie Smith, in the second round.
Let's go, fight.
And now the bell goes to begin round 3. The champion in the red gloves, the challenger in the blue gloves.
Go the distance. Coming at you. All right.
Feints from the champion, pause the jab, goes downstairs low with the kick. Smith feinting with the kick, and Cyborg again looking to maybe try to block, catch, and then go for the takedown just like that. The trip, the sweep, and Cyborg has Leslie Smith's back momentarily. Good escape by Smith.
Beautifully done by Chris Cyborg as far as the timing of that. And a nice job getting that scramble, to get into the scramble, not accept the position by Leslie Smith that gets her back to her feet.
Cyborg continues to attack the lead leg of Leslie Smith.
Feet to the body, side kick to the body, yeah. Yeah, shake it out. Shake it out. Start round, let's go. Let's go.
Nice kick to the body, Les.
Show that distance, big kick. Yes, yes, yes.
Nice, Chris. You got to stay in the
Jab from the champion is Leslie Smith trying to fire back, but then eats 3 punches, the kick, and then Leslie Smith coming forward, catching the kick, trying to take the champion off her feet. No luck.
Control that distance, big kick to the head, keeps to the body, feint.
When Chris Cyborg steps forward and starts throwing, when she stays in the pocket, she's been very successful of landing big strikes on Leslie. Leslie's given a lot of feints here.
Nice jab lands for the champion, Chris Cyborg.
Let's go. We're winning this round. We're winning this round, baby.
2 minutes gone in the third. Hot shotting from the champion.
Coming forward,
Not even close. Get the head. Yeah.
Winning the round. You're all right.
We're winning it.
All right.
It's a battle of the corners to try to curry favor with the judges.
Exactly, yeah.
Oh, nice jab. Sharp, stiff jab lands by Smith.
Beautiful left hand, right.
Body kick.
This is where Chris needs to notice that the hands are starting to slip down a little bit on Chris. Needs to keep those hands high. When she steps in, the hands need to be in place to defend herself.
Just past the midpoint of the third round, and Leslie Smith backing up.
Two hard ones left and block.
Good rhythm. Halfway through the round.
Good rhythm. Counter left lands for Chris Cyborg. Sharp jab. Another punishing jab by Chris Cyborg. Kick block right cross by Chris Cyborg.
Right now, Chris she wants to sit here and counter strike, but that jab and that straight right hand, when she throws it, she's been very accurate throughout the fight.
Front kick and then the counter attack from Chris Cyborg.
That's what you're looking for. When you see Leslie Smith throw that kick and then you see that counter, as a coach, you're happy with what your athlete did because you're making her pay for her attack.
Fire truck. Get those legs going again. Get those legs going again.
Leslie Smith competed in Muay Thai fights in Thailand.
There's your right hand. Same thing. Yeah, good. We got to fire back after that. We got to fire
Whipping
back
calf
after that.
kick, and again, jab splits the guard of the challenger. Right hand to the body, and Chris Cyborg trying to cut off the cage, trying to keep Leslie Smith in her sights. Another sharp jab, John.
There's just a difference in the power of strikes.
Right, left combination. Another jab that stops Smith. Smith now eats a knee to the midsection.
Control that distance. It's coming at you. Control that distance. Yeah.
Here's your strike stats right now. 22 of 100 for Leslie Smith. 86 landed strikes by Chris Cyborg.
Landing almost half of her strikes, now has Leslie Smith's back. Remember, Cyborg in her first title defense, coming up her first submission, waiting to be a rear naked choke. Now Smith looking for that double wrist lock.
Look at you catch wrestler.
Hey.
Excuse me, Josh Barnett.
Another one of my former broadcast partners.
Grab your skirt. You can grab your skirt.
Probably the best round for Leslie Smith. She really was competitive in the round, but still did not take the round.
Let's go. Take a deep breath, sit down. Let's go, championship rounds. Let's go, breathe. Control, breathe, breathe. All right, hey, you parried that jab and you fired back. Getting that time in that jab. You're fighting really fucking smart, really good. Your high kicks are working good, your teeth are working good. Let's set them up with strikes, but those kicks to the head are working good.
Stop this. Just give me one fucking bomb over the top of that. When you see the hand come down, I want you to give me one fucking grenade over the top of that bitch. And if it lands, finish with the kick.
We saw the champion Chris Cyborg pay tribute to NBA legend Larry Bird wearing his Celtics 33 jersey on the way in. He knows what it's like to be a champion, and Chris Cyborg kicking off the championship rounds here against the challenger Leslie Smith. Round 4 for the Bellator featherweight title.
Nice good. Good, Chris. I like that. Dollar, make her miss. Make her miss. Good. Same thing. She's trying to move. Get your face going. Get your face. She's trying to draw you in.
Chris Cyborg, a former professional handball player, discovered by a member of the Vantage Shoot-a-Box gym at 19. Boy, you talk about a murderer's row. Some of the most dangerous strikers in MMA came from that gym in Curitiba, including Anderson Silva, Vanderlei Silva, Mauricio Shogun Rua, his brother, and of course, Chris Cyborg. And Rafael Cordero was the striking coach.
There's also a fighter out of there. Yeah, a guy that you forgot named Jose Landes.
Well, you and I will never forget him because we were there cage side in Montreal when he snapped his leg against Brian Gassaway.
Yes, we were. That was a nasty side, but what a fighter he was.
And now here in the championship rounds, John, we've seen the pattern, we've seen the fight IQ, we've seen the patience, the maturity. What more do you want to see now, though, here in the championship rounds where it really counts?
Well, right now, what I'm looking at Leslie Smith, and I'm saying, man, she's doing everything she can. She's trying to create pressure. She's trying to create it in a smart way, which is different than what you've seen her sometimes in her fights. She's such a just go-ahead forward fighter, but she can't do that with the power of Chris. So she's trying to pick her spots, but Chris has been landing the heavier strikes throughout this fight. And
would you like to see more kicks from Cyborg?
No, right now, she's landing her kicks. What I'd really like to see is I want to see her stay with that jab. She has been landing that jab every time that she steps forward with it. She's fast.
And Smith just landed a jab, and there's a better jab from the champ. Oh, and Cyborg, little poke in the eye, like she had a momentary issue with her eye.
Good combo, good combo. Let's go, body head.
Midway point of the penultimate round here at the Fight Sphere, the main event, Bellator MMA on Showtime. The Bellator Featherweight Championship being contested in a much different fight than we saw in the first and only 81 seconds of their first meeting. And whacking combination from Chris Cyborg again with that battering ram jab.
Well, that wasn't only a battering ram jab, that was a battering ram right hand after the jab that really did the damage.
But it's been a battering ram jab throughout, and there's a right hand that knocks Leslie Smith to the ground. May have been a little off balance, but it landed. And now Cyborg feeding series of left hands, and yet Leslie Smith able to circle out and reset in the center of the cage.
You have to be so impressed with Leslie Smith and her just remaining calm in bad situations. She's thinking, she gets knocked to the ground, you see her move herself to the cage so she can get herself up cleanly.
And Smith talked about it, John, being, everyone builds Chris Cyborg as this monster, this unbeatable force. Of course, she's lost twice, but we're seeing a different Chris Cyborg, and maybe, again, one that is really just sitting down, being more patient. And you wonder, though, there will be a fan base saying, where's the killer?
Well, you look and it's called evolution.
Yes.
You can't be that killer throughout your career because then you'll run into that one person that lands that clean strike and just like
she's landing a lot of clean jabs.
Just like Leslie Smith is saying, no one is invincible. Everybody can be hurt. Just like Leslie just got tagged again, a little bit hurt on that shot.
Man, Leslie Smith can take a shot inside calf kick by Chris Cyborg, beautifully timed into the takedown. And you talk about evolution, Chris Cyborg with a takedown.
That just makes her so much more difficult to deal with as an MMA fighter. You're not only worried about the stand-up and the power. Now she will take you down onto the ground and use her good body positioning, her base, her balance, and even go for submissions. She's a more complete fighter.
There you go. You gotta get your hand inside. See how she's inside with the
Leslie Smith is very good on the ground. She's had a lot of training with the Diaz brothers, with Gil Melendez there, Cesar Gracie, all of them. She knows what she's doing down here. It's just the strength and technique of Cyborg is outstanding.
Breathe. Breathe. Okay, you won every round. We can keep doing what we're doing.
Here's the big strike right here. Catches both, hit the chin, but it's because of catching the leg and having her off balance is the reason that Leslie went down. It wasn't that she was really hurt from it. She got hit with a good shot, but the catch of the leg and then the right hand hitting her, she's got no balance to control of her position.
It's sharp, everything's sharp. Let's go. Take some risks. We need to knock her out, knock her out.
The last instructions from Gilbert Melendez. We need to knock her out, knock her out. Fifth and final round. The champion, Chris Cyborg. The challenger, Leslie Smith. It is all down to this 5 minutes for Leslie Smith. Can she record the upset?
Nice look.
Just need to get a little crazy. All right, we're patient. We're patient. Take that down.
And of course, Cyborg Nation is hoping that Chris Cyborg will deliver another highlight reel finish, but she is in against the battle-hardened, double-tough Leslie Smith. Just how tough is Leslie Smith? She's eaten 123 and counting shots from the Bellator featherweight champion.
And that is a lot of shots to absorb throughout the 5 rounds here. The real question I have right now is Chris Cyborg knows that she's up in this fight. She could coast. Let's see what she does. Does she go after Leslie Smith and try to get rid of Leslie Smith and finish her in this fight? We know that Leslie's going to be going after Chris. That's her way of winning.
Yeah, hold that. Good distance. Good distance.
Again, Cyborg catches the kick, delivers the right hand. A minute gone in the final round. High kick scores for the champion.
Back to the well because it did score. Beautiful right hand again.
Double jab follows up with the right, lead right, and again times it, secures the takedown, and immediately the veteran Smith looking to utilize the cage.
Smart, put her feet on the cage, and very smart by Chris.
Yeah.
Saw her spin her feet right off of it.
Into side control, and
right there you saw Leslie trying to work herself back. You saw again Chris stop that motion of getting her feet on the cage so she could wall walk.
And Smith controlling the champion's posture.
Step on her elbow. That'll take away that frame. Yep. Don't get rolled. Yes. Keep circling that way, Les. Circle that way. Keep circling that way. Now, yes. Walk off it. Yes. Go. Keep going, Les. Keep going. Keep going, Les. Keep going.
Ground and pound from the champion, but Leslie Smith able to get back up to her feet. Eats a knee from the tie plum and then an inside low kick, but moral victory for Smith.
Leslie Smith is so damn tough. It is amazing what she has endured in this fight. She just keeps coming.
38 years of age. As we heard in the feature, the daughter of a United Methodist minister, serving wherever they sent her family, and her life's journey has taken her to the main event of Bellator 259 with an opportunity to try to avenge a loss against one of the best ever in Chris Cyborg. And she has eaten a lot of shots. She's still standing, but she's going to have to do a hell of a lot more if she wants to walk out of the fight sphere the new champion.
Yeah, she does, but don't mess with the minister's daughter because she is a bad woman.
Yeah, sister, let's go.
I think that was a belch break.
It definitely was, and that's why they're both laughing. Those things just happen without you even thinking about it.
You heard her burping, put the knee right in her stomach.
Burping beats burpees, that's all I know. As a minute and 34 is left here in the fifth and final round. And
go off the cage.
is this fight going to end dramatically, or is Chris Cyborg going to coast to a second successful title defense?
Grab it again, Les. Let's play safe. 60 seconds, Chris.
Chris Cyborg came into tonight's fight with 18 knockout wins. A minute left in the fight. A more complete mixed martial martial artist against one of the toughest fighters you can come across in the veteran Leslie Smith. 151 total strikes landed for the champion.
Big right hand. Leslie Smith may not walk out of this cage with the belt and winning tonight, but she has definitely redeemed herself as far as what occurred in that first fight. Now, she thought it was stopped.
Oh, right hand dropping Leslie Smith. We wondered if it would end in dramatic fashion. Chris Cyborg looking to put an exclamation point on the proceedings. 20 seconds left. Leslie Smith is a survivor, but can she survive the final 10 seconds? She does not. Chris Cyborg successfully defends the Bellator Featherweight Championship with her 19th knockout. Cyborg 16 celebrating knockout 19. And that's what Cyborg Nation wants. You know, that's what fans want to see. But man, oh man, for Leslie Smith, like you said, can take so much away from this and yet unable to survive those final seconds.
Yeah, I mean, you just said it, and she did redeem herself, no doubt about it. She put on a masterful performance, showed how tough she is.
No controversy this time around.
No, that was the right thing to do to stop the fight when Dan stopped it. It was a good stoppage this time, no doubt about it.
And now we see Christina Justino coming over to console the challenger. These athletes put it all on the line just to prepare to put it all on the line.
Yes, they do. Take a look at what happened here. See, using that left jab, brings the kick into the leg. Watch the right hand. Boom! Right on the button. Puts Leslie down, and she is seriously hurt. She's trying to bring her legs up to help defend. Again, here's the angle of that. Right hand, snapping that head around. Chris goes to work on the ground. You got to give it to Leslie Smith. She took so many shots in this fight and kept coming back. She's the one that would never quit, but she got to this position. She was not going to get up. She was not going to get out. She'd absorbed a lot of damage. It was a good stop by Dan Bergolata.
And Chris Cyborg closes the show on her return to where it all began for her here on Showtime. She continues to reign supreme over the Bellator Featherweight division. Dominant, relentless pressure. In the past, she has been overly aggressive. Not tonight. A winning recipe in vanquishing Leslie Smith.
All right. Leslie, you okay? No way. Keep your chin high right there.
Just get in the middle of those. Okay, good? Yeah.
Let's make it official with Michael C. Williams.
Ladies and gentlemen, inside the Bellator cage, in the 5th and final round, referee Dan Bergolata waves off the contest due to unanswered strikes. The official time, 4 minutes, 51 seconds of that round. Number 5 for the winner by TKO, and still Bellator Featherweight World Champion, Chris Cyborg.
In her first major matchup on Showtime, she stopped Gina Carano with 1 second left in the opening round to win the Strikeforce Featherweight title. Tonight in the rematch with Leslie Smith, she stops her with 9 seconds left in the fight. So, Chris Cyborg remains Bellator Featherweight champion, and she will talk to our Big John McCarthy.
Chris, what an amazing performance. It was just an amazing fight by both of you women. Leslie Smith was as tough as they come in that fight. What was going through your head when you were hitting her big shots and she just kept coming back?
You know, I knew she's tough. You know, I knew. I met her before. I know my fiancée, know her. I really respect her. She's a real fighter. And man, I work really hard for getting to me. And I know with her, you can do a great match. Because she's keeping going, she's tough.
Both of you were different fighters tonight than you were 5 years ago.
Yes.
And both you were much more patient with what you did in here. She was trying to bring you to attack her so she could counter-strike, and you were doing the same. What was it like when you were hitting her with strikes and then she was trying to lull you into attacking, and sometimes you did and then sometimes she countered and got you?
You know, I was already, we do already training sparring, and the people really keep going, already working this because I knew it was going to be this way. You know, I knew that was going to be tough, and I started to enjoy the time inside the octagon. I know I think the experience is going to be 16 years. I've been fighting this month, and the experience, you know, I get more enjoy the moment to be here.
I said for 16 years you've been a Category 5 hurricane in this cage, just blitzing people, but you've been using your ground game much more often now. Talk about your confidence in your ground game and what getting that black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu has done for you.
You know, I've been working grappling for all my life, but I feel like now I'm getting more experience in training with Cobrinha. You know, I'm getting better and better, and it motivates me every day. Black belt, I got the black belt, but it's a white belt. You know, it's the beginner. I start to learn again. I
know the feeling. Who now? You're the champion. Everyone's got the target looking at you. Who do you believe deserves a shot at that title?
You know, for you be 16 years doing this, I got 4 titles in my career, and for you be a GOAT, you have to stop running from the cat. So I would like to see if the Cat Zingano fight me for the next match. I asked for Scott if he would like to put this match, because it cannot be a GOAT to run for the cat.
Sounds good to me. I want to tell you congratulations on a fantastic performance, an unbelievable finish. That was right at the end of the 5th round. Way to go. Everybody, ladies and gentlemen, your winner and champion, Chris Cyborg.
Hey guys, I want to say thank you for everyone. Thanks for my team. Man, Jesus Christ, with my whole career, for 16 years with him, giving you a lot of victory, and he can heal your heart. I love you guys. Thank you.
Chris Cyborg returning to Showtime, successfully defending the Bellator featherweight title, back with Scott Coker again. They go back to the Strikeforce days, and now together with Bellator MMA as she closes the show in impressive fashion against the always game Leslie Smith. And Chris Cyborg welcomes the challenge of Cat Zingano, but you know what? She had one of the great lines quipping to ESPN, do you know if Jake Paul has a sister? She has designs on boxing as well. Let's go to Jen Brown.
Oh, well, thanks, Mauro. Hey, Josh, I was going to ask you who you think Chris Cyborg should fight next. Well, she said who she wants to fight, Cat Zingano. What do you think about that matchup?
Yeah, it makes sense. Kat's coming off of a big win right now. She's been great in her 2 performances here, and I think it does make sense. But then we leave those type of things up to Scott Coker to make those decisions.
All right, well, you talked about it. You said Chris Cyborg, we were going to see a more patient fighter from her tonight. We also saw that in Leslie Smith. What did you think about the performance from both of these women tonight?
Leslie Smith was phenomenal in terms of, look, she took some big shots. She never gave up. And to go back to their first fight, the fight was stopped early, and she proved tonight that she could take the damage, took the punishment, but she fought a very smart fight. I wanted to see her utilize her kicks a little bit more. She wasn't able to. Cyborg, very patient, but we've talked about that she just has kept her defense up tight. She threw in 1s and 2s, occasional 3s and 4s. She had success with the leg kicks. She did everything right. This is what we want to see from her.
Well, there's one thing that no one can question. It is Leslie Smith's toughness. She hung in there 24 minutes and 51 seconds with Chris Cyborg, obviously one of the best in the world. Very impressive job. All right. Well, we had some incredible fights tonight. And if you missed any portion of tonight's event, well, let's run it back. Check your local listings to find replays of Bellator MMA on Showtime and Showtime Extreme. Well, the next time you will see us back in action, it's Friday, June 11th, where the current Bellator welterweight champ Douglas Lima returns to the cage to defend his gold against 25-0 Dynamo Yaroslav Amosov. That is Friday, June 11th, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific, only on Showtime. Well, coming up next, it's an encore episode of City on a Hill, Showtime's original drama series, starring Kevin Bacon and Aldous Hodge, with brand new episodes airing Sundays at 9 p.m. Well, tonight was another fantastic night of Bellator MMA action. That does it for Josh and I up at the desk. Moro, back over to you.
All right, thank you very much as Chris Cyborg walks out of the Bellator MMA cage and still Bellator featherweight champion. Bellator 259 kicked off with Hannah Guy upsetting the undefeated Valerie Loretta as Hannah Guy wins impressively in her Bellator MMA debut, and then that was flyweight action. Then came the welterweights, and we had Jaleel Willis over Maicon Mendonça, and then Austin Vanderford with the biggest win of his career, defeating Fabian Edwards, improving to a bloody 11-0. And then Leandro Ego, well, he missed weight. And Darian Caldwell, well, he missed an opportunity as return to the bantamweight division. He go with the split decision win over the former Bellator bantamweight champion. And then in the main event, Chris Cyborg successfully defended the Bellator featherweight title in a rematch against Leslie Smith. For all of us at Bellator MMA on Showtime, good night from the Fight Sphere.